Okay, I think my mic is active. Can you guys say something for me?
Hey, I'm Lee. What's up?
All right. So I guess I don't have Deathrow or Rez here, at least not yet. But why don't I mean, anyone who's a regular on my stream probably knows you guys. But for anyone who may be a casual listener of the podcast, why don't you guys explain who you guys are?
Hey guys, I'm just Lee Belmont, your noble vampire hunter. I'm also a streamer on Twitch, and I usually play a whole lot of platformers and Nintendo games, and a little bit of comedy too.
Hey, you should be familiar with me at this point on the
Mm,
GotKast, but hey, it's Byron again. I generally play platformers and party games of all kinds.
cool. Yeah, we played a lot of Mario Party, and you recently actually played a common game most people played, but you were
Yeah,
lagging
I played
behind.
Mario 64 for the first time as Mr. Platformer.
How
It
did
was
you
like,
avoid that for so
gaming
long?
sin. I've never played Mario 64 before, but I beat it, so.
Well, anyway, so our topic today, which would be, I mean, relevant for all of us, less so for Deathrow because he doesn't, but our streaming, like our experiences as being small streamer, how we started, our view of it, and going forward. So, I guess we should probably start at the beginning as to how we started and why we started, which I think will be a pretty good question to start with. And I guess I'll open with how I began, which several years ago, probably like 7-8 years ago at this point, I actually started streaming DayZ. If anyone remembers what DayZ is, it was like an open world like zombie survival, which was
Vaguely.
yes, primarily a hiking simulator, but you would occasionally interact with people. But anyway, the reason I was streaming it because what the people I hung out with, they actually bought or rented a server for us to be admins on, and there was like some PvE elements. So we thought it would be since I had like the capability at not a great capability at the time, but I did have the capability to stream it because whenever this particular mod, which was specifically DayZ Origins, they had a new PvP area, and it was always a race to see who was the first to finish it, and we would stream our attempts. So we would like get the live stream going, we would get there, and then I would turn the live stream on, and we would do our run, which a lot of times we would show up, immediately get wiped because we didn't, and those were funny streams too. We would just immediately die. But my setup at the time was super jank. It like I actually tried to have a webcam because I assumed that was a necessity, and it kind of was. I did not have a webcam. What I did have was a camcorder with an AV out, red, white, yellow, if you guys remember that. And I had a digital AV to USB to convert VHSs into a digital format, and I decided just to plug the camcorder in there and then output the feed live on the stream, which was very pixely, very low quality. It was either 480 or like 360, and I had the blinking record button on the top that I couldn't get rid of because it was part of the natural output of the camera because it wasn't made to be outputted like that. And I guess I didn't do that for long. I only streamed like a handful of times. I somehow got like 30 followers from that for people from the DayZ servers we posted on. We got followers from that. But we didn't keep up with that. What sort of started my resurgence in streaming, because I always kind of had the desire, but I never, and I had most of the equipment lying around. I just never like had the push to start because I felt like the starting point is the hardest. And what got me going was there was a contest PewDiePie ran in April of 2019, I think, or maybe it was 2018. I might be misremembering the year, but he actually was pushing a different alternate to Twitch called DLive. He was going around donating a decent amount to random streamers on DLive, and I figured, you know what? I'll throw on a stream just to enter this contest, and we'll see how things go. Which naturally I didn't get picked, and thank God I didn't get picked because my setup was garbage back then. But I was streaming Smash, and I was actually surprised at how many people were sort of rolling in the arena. not too many people went on DLive to make an account because no one wanted to bother doing that for the most part. There were some people, but that was the main motivator. From there, I sort of eventually started to simul stream to both Twitch and DLive. When no one was watching me on DLive, I eventually dumped DLive and just started streaming on Twitch. And I did a lot of stream hopping too, and from there, sort of built things up. And, you know, sort of gets a little more complicated as it went on, but that's the basics of how I started, why I started. Anyway, so either of you want to give your anecdotes about that?
DLive, Jesus, that's a memory right there.
I
A
was
very
gonna. Yeah.
brief blip in time where DLive was relevant. All because of one man. It's like Mixer. It's like Mixer in a way. Mixer brought in Ninja and Shroud, thinking it would be like trickle down economics or it would trickle down, but it doesn't trickle down. So,
Well, look what happened.
Jesus, DLive.
Yeah.
A relic.
I was gonna say it's super impressive that you managed to like basically like jerry rig a camcorder together as like a pseudo.
I can't believe I
webcam
did that
thing.
either. I
Yeah,
don't even know if
that
it
must
was
have been
worth
really
it.
obnoxious to set up.
Yeah, I wish
It
you
was
still had
a full
picture.
camcorder on your desk. Ugh.
Oh God, yeah. And camcorders back then were probably bigger than like a controller.
Those were like larger than like DSLRs, right? Or like the same size.
It wasn't that
Probably
big.
around
It
the
was
same size.
mine wasn't that big. It was maybe like probably like a little bit bigger than your controller. Not too
Okay.
big.
Yeah, so reasonable. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dan says F for Mixer.
Yeah.
F Mixer.
R.I.P.
All right.
So I guess well, one thing I wanted to mention before we move on from that. So I guess like I don't know if you covered it, but what convinced you to go back to Twitch after your experience with DLive?
Well, it wasn't so much I exclusively want to go on DLive. I just started streaming on there because that's where the contest was, and then I did a simul stream. I streamed to both Twitch and DLive at the same time. I had a terrible overlay at the time. I had both the DLive chat and the Twitch chat at the same time, and the recent followers from DLive and the recent followers from Twitch. My overlay was so tacky and overly busy, and it did not look good. And then at some point, I just stopped simul streaming and just streamed to Twitch for the ease of it.
I'm trying to visualize literally all of that in my head.
I'm glad the archives are gone.
GK, like having recent DLive follower. Oh,
that's some lost
recent
media
Twitch
on my
follower,
part.
recent Twitch gee, and having both chats, my brain is melting. My brain's melting at that thought.
I'm glad though that's lost media because it was awful.
I want to see an image purely for just like
I looked at my oldest saved clips and it got to the point where I just got past that. So it's gone. I can probably recreate it, but I don't know if I want to. It's gonna be more effort to recreate shitty quality than anything good.
Oh man, that would be hilarious to see though.
All right, so and do you guys want to give your streamer life story?
Yeah, so man, my quote unquote superhero origin story is definitely not as happy as most others.
Tragic,
So
lost tragedy.
The tragedy.
Honestly, kind of, yeah. So basically, I've been streaming for about 4 years now at this point, and I started back in like June 2018. And the biggest reasons like why I started streaming is because I wanted something I could do that felt sort of productive, because I had just gotten out of college. I have gotten my English degree, and like most people who do that, they usually struggle to find employment. And that was the case for me. And it was very frustrating because I didn't really have like any form of like income. And like most people on the Twitch subreddit, I had a thought that said like, oh, hey, well, maybe I can do streaming because games, and maybe I can be entertaining while doing it. Lo and behold, my intel now is substantially different compared to back then. But yeah, it was a combination of like wanting to be productive during that and also needing some sort of like de-stressor, because I was basically like put into like a caretaker position along with like being my mom for like a family member. So streaming was essentially like a coping mechanism for me. And I also wanted to kind of use it as like a method to improve both like my own skills, whether it be like speedrunning and just having an opportunity to meet people, because I didn't really get outside too much. But yeah, that's essentially like how and why I started.
Okay.
Ye old college student who can't find a job because of course you can't. So like, hey, why not stream?
Yeah, and can you
Exactly.
tell? Would you recall what your setup looked like in the early days? Were they notably bad, or were you always good, high quality?
So it's interesting you bring that up. This headset specifically, this was actually what I used for I think like the first year and a half for streaming. I
Almost sounded
used a
great.
lot. Yeah, it was just crystal clear. I also used a Logitech C270 camera,
Oh
which
god, the
yeah, that was like a
C270.
$20 webcam, and
C270. That's a low
eventually,
number.
Yep.
yeah, eventually I did upgrade to like a USB mic, and I actually got rid of both that USB mic and that webcam. I gave the webcam to Epictastic, and I gave my USB mic to Eckerd because I wanted to give him an upgrade. So yeah, very different quality than it now. I'm actually rocking
Very
an XLR these days, which is great.
All right. Well, anything else to throw in, or do you want to move on to Byron?
Well, Dan said in the chat, streaming is a very good coping mechanism. For some
Yes.
people, it can be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely
Well,
the
it
case for
starts
me.
off as a coping mechanism, and as we'll get on as in our podcast, we will need a coping mechanism from the streaming
Yeah.
at times. But anyway, so I guess Byron now.
Yeah, the lamest story, the shortest story of them all. I already had my PC. I was thinking of building a PC right before the pandemic started. So great timing on my fucking part. I got the parts like right before the pandemic like really got like kicking and before obviously the semiconductor shortages and all that stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I already have this. Might as well stream. And it got me to play more games. Like I have played more games since streaming than beforehand. I only started back in September of 2020. So yeah, short, sweet story. Yeah. That's about it. That's about it. I don't really have much of a backstory like these two over here.
Yeah, I guess in terms of streamers, you're kind of like the baby, the newborn streamer.
I am the baby.
Yeah, I mean everyone starts somewhere, and that's totally cool.
Yeah, so first it was I just had the gameplay because I didn't have the webcam at the time. I have the AverMedia PW513 currently, and well, that I got that 1 month before Elgato's new face cam came out. So fucking oof on my
Yeah, it's always bad timing with those things.
yeah, bad fucking timing on my part, but yeah, and then this mic I have had pretty much since the beginning, except this is both a USB and an XLR dynamic mic. So I didn't really get the XLR part really starting until like past like half year or so, but yeah, so I added the face cam when I got affiliate in August of 2021 and basically like yeah, like nothing else has really changed honestly with my setup from September 2020 to like now for the most part.
Yeah, and I just got a thought from Dan here, the affiliate grind, which I haven't really thought about until just this moment. That point where you go from like the affiliate threshold is not that bad, but the initial growth is kind of hard unless like you know a lot of people. But I remember when I was starting out,
or you're already a personality like outside of Twitch.
Oh yeah, but just barring that, like if you're going into Twitch fresh, it's kind of hard. And I personally got very lucky with Smash because there's like a lot of people coming in. But I remember the first when I actually got affiliate, or when I hit the threshold for affiliate, I did a 12-hour stream by accident. I just decided one day I'm gonna play Smash. I'm gonna start very early. We kept playing. I was like in a pretty good mood. People kept coming in, people leaving, got replaced. People were going to the VC, and it was like, things kept moving. It was really good. And I got 30 followers in one day. And it was like, really crazy to me, like how it just kept going. And then I got over the threshold, and of course I had to do the back end stuff where Twitch wants you to
the back end
Twitch wants you to cut your thumb and send them a bloody thumbprint, amongst other packs you have to make. But I got to that point. Do any of you have any like good memories of the affiliate grind or the moment you got affiliate? Because some people it's like nothing. It just comes and goes. You don't even notice.
I mean, I was happy when that happened. I mean, it felt like a pretty big like threshold to me, especially given that I had like no opportunity for like income at that point in my life. So it was pretty big, I'd say.
Really, it's just like, it's cool. It happens. I can make a little extra side money like that. That's always good, and it saved my life fucking recently. Fucking thanks, Spectrum, but that's another issue today.
Oh
But
yeah, technical issues.
but yeah, so it's cool. When I got, I'm like, all right, this is cool. I have a little extra money now, and all that fun stuff, and I can earn a little extra money, but like, yeah, it was just like you said, GK. It just kind of passed. Just kind of
Yeah, yeah.
passed. It
For
was
some
cool.
people, you don't even pay attention. It just comes
Yeah,
and goes. For some
it's
people,
cool.
it's like a
Obviously,
big
yeah, you
moment
gotta send, yeah, you gotta
you're
send
going
Twitch like
for.
your thumb, and then like, I don't know, like a little bit of stomach fat or something. But yeah,
Wait until you hear the partner requirements. It's even worse.
I've seen them. Yeah, you have to send your soul and like an entire arm.
Yeah. All right. Well. Oh, that was a all right. So I guess another interesting thing to talk about is the view of streaming. Like my personal view, then and now. I guess. Like because initially before I streamed myself, and I was more into the YouTube content. I almost never went on Twitch. Only if like a major YouTuber was streaming, I would go in, but then I wouldn't stay too long because it's a different kind of environment. And initially I thought it was like the big, like the streamers you'd watch are the big streamers like the ninjas or some of the people I follow or I sub to on YouTube. Like maybe for example me, the completionist was a guy I would occasionally go on to see him complete a game, but there was zero. Well, I wouldn't say there's zero interactivity. It's just very hard to interact unless you do a donation or a sub. But I was just sort of watching, and I thought I saw zero purpose in chatting in the chat unless you want to talk to a random person, but that's not a cohesive environment to talk to people. And I just thought it was only like the big streamer randomly seeing random messages and you were going to have no interaction. It wasn't until I actually started streaming myself on DLive and I started stream hopping a little bit with people. And then I was like, oh, this is actually kind of chill thing, going for like more smaller mid-level people, actually interacting with people, especially with Smash, because you actually play with them. But it was actually kind of cool to actually be able to interact with the low-level streamer and actually have sort of like a community around it. It was a whole world I didn't really get too involved in until recently. So it was, kind of a nice change of pace. So, I don't know how you guys feel about that when it came to if you already knew about it ahead of time or not. What do you guys think?
Regarding your experience with like enlightening self to smaller creators, or
Yeah, like your view of Twitch, like the fact that like you get the perception, it's like for me, I had the perception that it was like you wouldn't go on it because it was only like the big streamers and you didn't really get much out of it and you didn't really know about the world of smaller streamers and actually interacting with people.
yeah. So I guess relating to that, it's weird because I never really thought of it in that manner. Like to me, it was just like, yeah, Twitch is just a means for people to display their content, but it like the thought of like the ultra mega celebrities and just like kind of focusing on them, that wasn't ever really like my point, because whenever I started, I was always just like, oh well, this is where I am, and I'm just going to put my attention on people who are in like a similar kind of boat and just kind of go from there without even like taking credence to like the celebrities of it, because that's kind of just always has been how it's been for me, just kind of focusing on like what's within my realm of control.
Well, Ferris says that you are the mega celebrity, though.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with where I am right now. But thank you, Ferris.
Yeah. Also, real quick, Ferris did bring up setting up the bank account. We will bring up in a bit like the more of the technical end and how it's harder than most would assume.
Yeah.
But Byron, do you have any thoughts about like your perception of Twitch before and after you started streaming yourself?
For like the longest time, I didn't even know Twitch really existed that much. And some of my homies over at Mario Party TV, they were starting to stream because one of the members, Steeler, moved to Ohio and he started streaming on Twitch. And I had known them obviously from all of their YouTube content over the past year. I had followed them. Like, okay, I'll hop on over onto this like Twitch thing. So I never really had the experience of like watching like bigger streamers. For me, I always just watched like the smaller creators on Twitch. So like I had like obviously like for every now and then I would hear about like the big people, but like it's like, oh man, that's not my experience. I always watch the smaller people. So yeah.
All right, so you had the most like actual real view of how it should have been.
Yeah, the most like
Been-
smaller streamer view of Twitch, even as a just a viewer and then eventually a mod for all of them from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Because I feel like you ask like a random person like what they think of Twitch. Like, I mean, like a normie, so to speak, like a coworker.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like, "Oh yeah, that's where that ninja fellow or that Mr. Beast guy tends to go on sometimes."
Yeah.
All right. And anyway, to sort of talk about what Ferris
Emo
brought
up
Hmm?
a point.
What did Emo? Let
bigger
me see.
streamers never really interested him apparently. Which is
Yeah,
which
see,
is
that's
fair.
why I never really got too into it. Like, I would watch them for their content, but not for the interactivity because it was not possible to interact at reasonably.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, sort of go back to what like Ferris brought up, like with the a technical issue for like when you start streaming, you take for granted that it's not the easiest thing in the world. Like
Yes.
it's not. I mean, it's not as plug and play as most would think. And it has been getting easier. The barrier to entry has been getting lower. That still
Yep.
does not take away from the fact that you gotta like set some things up, and it's hard to set things up when you do start. Guaranteed, it's not gonna be good. You're gonna have issues.
Yeah.
You can watch a bunch of guides, but if you watch like a 15-minute guide on how to start a stream or set up a stream, that is like enough. Like, that only scratches the surface. It gives you like a bare like entry level thing. Like, you just have to sort of do it and like do trial by fire, or get yourself like a stream coach. There was
Yeah.
some people that I managed to help who started early, because I sort of went into it with like no help. I didn't really ask anyone or seek it out. When I did stream hop, I just sort of think I'll figure this out and I'll just hit the ground running. And I eventually did, as rough as it was. But like if you do know someone, like getting that like help would definitely help get the ball rolling on your stream. We can probably talk about like all the personal like tech issues we had, but did you guys have like the shock of like just how hard it actually was to set things up?
So I did, yeah. I'm I'm kind of my own worst enemy when it comes to tech stuff, because I'm the kind of person who stays up till like 5 in the morning making sure that I get my audio correct. And I've had to basically do that for basically, all three of my different inputs, like this, the USB mic, and the XLR. And it's tough because most of it most of it basically is self-taught, because your only available resources are either YouTube and just kind of figuring out how OBS works through various websites and things of that nature.
Yep.
And I didn't it's I appreciate that I'm usually the one in my friend group who's the guy that's able to help people for stuff, but that also kind of leaves me in the position where I'm not always able to ask for help for some things, because I'm usually like the more knowledgeable one for stuff. But that's not to say I didn't learn a lot from other people. I mean, I've had others basically show me how useful things such as like edit transform can be and things of that nature, but tech is hard. Like, there's always going to be some form of barrier to it that makes it difficult.
Yeah, how about you, Byron?
Fucking audio, man. That is the one goddamn thing that like trying to balance if it's just like for example my Who the Hell Asked show. That's the easiest shit for me to balance cuz it's literally two people. I don't have to deal with sometimes it's me and the game, then it's me, the game, and like let's say I have like you two and another person on like I'm slowly trying to get better, but Jesus Christ, audio is still the hardest fucking thing about streaming. The visual stuff, like, yeah, there's like places like Owned and Visuals by Influence and stuff like that, or you can make your own stuff. Like that's honestly the easy part. The visuals are easy. The audio is the fucking hard part.
Yeah, the audio
Let
is
me
tough
tell you.
because it's hard to say what the audience hears versus what you can hear. It's harder to test that, and it's a lot more subtle.
Yup.
It's
Holy
definitely
shit, yes.
definitely a struggle. Which for me personally, I have like this Blue Yeti, and when I had this when I started streaming. However, I didn't initially use it because I didn't know how to use like sound gates or filters
Yeah.
or anything like that. When I plug it in, just like raw mic, it would pick up like noises from all around the house. I was like, I was like recording and like listening back, and I couldn't do this. So I resorted to like my headset mic, and even though it sounded bad, muffled, it got the job done until I figured out how to set up my Blue Yeti to actually be good. And
Yeah.
I'm like I'm thinking about eventually getting like an XLR setup and like a mixer. I don't know when, but I dread that day because I'm gonna have to set all that up
Oh,
and get it
boy, yeah.
working.
Yeah, Garnet, great point. Yeah, audio is the worst, man. It's the worst.
Yeah, you need to be an audio engineer, and that's like there's a reason that they people specialize in that craft because it's
Yep.
hard.
There's a reason, because it's fucking difficult.
Oh man. All right. So well, any other points from like from the technical end, or we want to move on to the next point?
I feel like that's pretty sufficient. At least I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
All right. So and then this is going to be kind of a subjective topic. The ethics of streaming. And it
I
this
was actually gonna say before you get into that, did you want
Yeah.
us to like go into the other aspects of streaming then and now? Because we didn't cover the our I guess our mentalities for all of us and like our journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
The journey, yeah. Like, why don't I guess you lead us off on that, Lee.
So I think one of the biggest things that that usually comes to mind with the idea of like streaming then and now is and I feel like this applies for a lot of people, is kind of the mentality that people start with and wind up ending with. I can say that at least on my side, when starting out, I kind of had like the mentality very similar to a lot of people on the Twitch subreddit, which I'm going to be quoting a lot because
Yep.
very topical and relevant.
r/Twitch.
Yeah, and I feel like for a lot of people when they're starting out, I think the platform heavily incentivizes the idea of having to grind and just constantly trying to hit certain metrics. And I think one of the biggest problems behind that is it also translates to the streamer's mentality as well. And I would say I was also, I'm not going to say a victim of that because that was all kind of like self done, but I was definitely like super like hungry about the statistics and all that, to the point where it's like you would base your content around like what would give you like the most interest, which I think that kind of thing is really harmful. And I feel like a lot of streamers eventually do kind of recognize the importance of that to kind of practice that sort of self-awareness and kind of get out of the whole grind mentality, the sub goal mentality and things of that nature, which we'll cover in the stream ethics part. But at least like looking about streaming then and now, at least on my side, I feel like I have a much better perspective. Ironically, one of the best things as far as that went is to kind of like give yourself space to kind of learn other things in your life and kind of knowing when to take a break from streaming, because there eventually does come a point where you have to ask yourself, like, how important is growth to someone, and is that preventing you from enjoying the fruits of your labor that you've cultivated over the course of many years. And in my case, stepping away from streaming has given me the opportunity to spend time with the people I love and care about that I've met throughout the years. And for me, that's been a much better mentality, just kind of slowing down and just enjoying that instead. So
All right. Well, I guess Byron, if let's Lee, you have any last second thoughts on that, or Byron, if we want to give your take on that.
you're good to go, Byron.
Well, I thought streaming would be easy. It's fucking not, as we have clearly demonstrated, especially audio. Again, like I keep talking about that, audio's the biggest pain. But yeah, Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because I haven't really like deep dived into the world of streaming. So like that's my pretty much last thoughts on that. Anyways.
Okay. Yeah, there's actually a point I almost forgot about myself.
Mhm.
In terms of the when I started streaming, it was nothing but Smash all the time, which was, fine. My IRL friends got bored of Smash pretty quickly. I was beating them pretty easily. And I wasn't even that good. So I would just have these open arenas, let people come in, and it's like that was like very easy, and I got super lucky because that was something a lot of people got into. People like you get to play with people, almost like communal gaming in a way, and that's how I started streaming. Was mostly just for the communal gaming to play games that I wanted to that no one else I knew would. But after a while, I was like I tried to do anything else. Like if I thought about streaming something else, it was like hard to break out of that because all I did was stream Smash, and that's what people expected of me. If I did any other random thing, like I don't even remember the first thing I streamed other than Smash. It might have been like something on the SNES, like maybe Yoshi's Island, perhaps. And I don't get too bogged down in like the viewers and like all that because I still wanted to play it and like just stream it mostly for archival reasons, even though I didn't wind up saving that one. But it was hard to, like, because the interactivity sort of went away, and I had to really try hard to break out, try to become more variety, and not be pigeonholed into Smash, because Smash, as popular as it is, it's a finite kind of game where eventually it'll come and go. I guess sort of like also double back on the technical issues. I've always loved Mario Party, and I really wanted to play it. In the early days, it was hell. Lee can probably remember some of the early days. We were when Byron came around, we were past some of that shit, the really bad moments. But
yeah, I didn't find you till like 2021. So
for one, early on when I was smaller, it was harder to get a full crew of like 3 extra people to have a full game of Mario Party to have the schedule sync up. On top of that, getting everything to work, because I wasn't an expert as much as I am now about how getting a Mario Party online, and there was no superstars, there was no the super with their really bad online. It was, through other methods that were not the most obvious, and I had to help a lot of people set that up. And I feel like Mario Party is a more timeless experience, as well as just doing party games in general, and that's sort of my thing. I think Ferris said a while ago, and I lost that comment. That they came for Smash but stayed for Mario Party. But oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, it came for Smash, stayed for Mario Party, and that's what keeps me streaming is for Mario Party, which I do on the regular. And I allow myself, because you can't stream Mario Party every day of the week because it will get kind of like oversaturated. But it allows me to stream other things on other days. It gives me, like, my crutch is Mario Party now, and then I'm like kind of free to experiment with various other kinds of streams to see what I enjoy, what people like to watch, and sort of change that mindset, getting out of the one game mindset, and that's kind of hard. Let me see.
Yeah.
I think we got Frag. Frag is here.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Go on, Byron.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes if you're pigeonholed into one game, it's just like, and you may like that game, and for some people, just playing one game, just being known for one game, that works for them. For others, though, it's like, oh my god, I'm trying to fucking climb out of the damn well, because like you don't want to necessarily play just one game or be known for just one game.
Yeah, and Frag brings up a thing here. It's hard to diversify when playing Smash, because Smash players, generally speaking, are dead set on watching their game for the most part. Now, that is mostly true, but like what my mindset was, that like it's a given that people who like Smash will only be around to play Smash with other streamers, but I tried to make it where hopefully I would like get people who find me for Smash and stay for another reason. As Ferris said, stay for Mario Party. And that's what you try. That's like the end game for the streaming, is getting people to come in with that popular game and then getting them to stay for your glowing personality. so to speak. Oh, and oh my god, Emo just the first Chat Interactive. For those who don't know, the Chat Interactives, we do Mario Party, but I use a hex editor to mess with the game, like to make die rolls something specific, which I got to do this again soon, by the way. Keep a lookout on that in my Discord, FYI. But the first time I did that, oh man, it was like sort of trying to figure things out, and you know, it was interesting. All right, well, any of you guys have any other points on that before we sort of touch upon?
I do, yeah.
You do?
I
Okay.
wanted to piggyback both off of Frag's and Garnet's comments with, you know, how I think the idea of the whole Smash viewers only want to watch for Smash extends to not just that community, but for most streamers that establish themselves as a one game streamer kind of thing. And the reason behind that is because I feel it's because the streamer effectively sets the expectation that this is going to be the main thing they're doing, the only thing they're doing, without always as much variety to kind of branch out of that. And I know one of the big things that I wound up watching from a conversation between Alpha Gaming and Stream Scheme, two both fairly large like coaches within the streaming sphere.
Yeah.
They would always talk about the idea that it's like your content is effectively meant to, you know, be informative in a sense to kind of, you know, display like what you're capable of putting out there, but you effectively want to keep people in with the personality rather than just the thing that they found you for. And I also do agree with the idea that there's like sort of a finite size to every community. I think that's the big reason why a lot of streamers wind up stagnating, or they feel that they're unable to switch to something else. A good example of that is Tom Shi from the Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning community. I know back on the podcast thing that I saw with like Alpha Gaming and Stream Scheme, they talked about him feeling that he's unable to branch out into something else because he's already established himself so much as an Odyssey content creator. And that's the only thing that people see him as, which effectively leads to like a catch-22 where it's like he wants to do something else, but he's unable to because he feels like it's some sort of like social pressure or inability to do that.
I don't see Odyssey being relevant in like 6 or 7 years.
I think it'd be more relevant than most games. I feel like it would have a Super
more
Mario
so,
64
but
effect.
I feel like it won't be like eventually there'll be another Mario game. And also, I do want to just point out we will be doing call-ins. We just want to go over our points, and then we'll have people call in to comment on any of the points we've made. So just be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. Like that's why I'm not necessarily pigeonholing myself by playing like one game. I play one genre of game, but there's a very big scope within that genre, which is for me platformers, because that's the genre I like the most in video games. I like 2D platformers, 3D platformers. Give me all the platformers. Give me them all.
I guess I didn't think about that. Certain games that just strike gold with speedrunning, like Mario 64, actually.
Yeah, that's also true.
I should have thought of that. Yeah, like actually the mobility in Odyssey is like, I haven't played Odyssey yet, but the mobility in it is really good. So I guess maybe it could be relevant. I don't know if you can make a content creation career if that's literally all you do for so long.
You can.
Smalley did that when starting off.
Yeah. Well, he started from that.
Yeah,
but you could theoretically make an entire career out of speedrunning. So it's possible, but not likely.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess you get the foundation, and then from there, like you can branch out.
You can branch off like a tree.
Yes, you just gotta get like hundreds of thousands of followers, and then you'll probably be free to do whatever. All right, well, any other last thoughts on that before we sort of touch upon the very hot topic of ethics of streaming?
Yeah, Frag made a great point. Making your personality shine through the game is critical. Absolutely.
Huge agree on that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think in a lot of cases, it's a wake-up call for streamers to be able to express themselves better when they find that a lot of their audience kind of falls off, Not saying that, like, the metric is the end-all, be-all, but it could just be, like, a sign to possibly work on the entertainment aspect a bit more than relying upon just the game.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain people who are the skill type. If like I'm just for an example, I see this with Hearthstone a lot, where you'll have people who are super good at Hearthstone, but they just dead stare at the screen and just sort of like give muffled comments on like their strategies. And it's just, I mean, I get that they're super focused on the game, but I can't picture watching that someone playing like Mario like that. Like the dead staring and there's like different types of streamers that people watch, like the skill, the personality, the comedy, or the hate watch occasionally. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, like Frag said, some people bag down and talking too much about the game instead of connecting with their audience. Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Find that you can find that balance. You can find that balance between talking about the game and talking with your Twitch chat, your audience.
Yes.
Depending on what platform you're on.
All right. So, how about any last thoughts from you, Lee, or do you want to go on to the ethics?
No, that was pretty much everything. I think we were pretty cohesive about that.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I guess I'll start with now the ethics of streaming, and I will say this up front that this is a pretty subjective. There are some rules I think we can all agree upon, but there is some subjectivity to how some of these are approached.
Yeah.
I guess for one is self-promotion. I feel like a lot of small streamers, like when they're starting out, they fall into the trap where they overly self-promote in an obnoxious way. So you gotta, read the room and know when that's appropriate, because you're basically like, no one likes advertisements, and if you're advertising your stream, like, I feel like you post it where it's relevant and then just let the growth come naturally. You can't force it. So like the modest self-promotion, be sort of, mindful about that. And this will vary from person to person. It's just like, me personally, if I go on someone else's stream, I won't use my own emotes unless they're really relevant, and I won't bring up the fact that I'm also a streamer unless it's really relevant. If, like, let's say if the person asks, like, hey, for anyone of you who streams, like, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? I won't go into someone who I barely know and say, hey, as a streamer, that thing you do, I agree with, because I feel like that's like you trying to self-promote your way. And especially if you go to a bigger streamer and you try to do that and you try to get like the shout out, it can kind of come off as a little tacky. But yeah, that's why I like almost all Discords, as I think Garnet just pointed out. If I can pull it up. Yeah. Most places has a designated place for the self promo, and I think that's fine. Like you do it to let people know you are streaming when you are streaming. And it's sort of, that makes sense. So, there's a couple of other things I want to bring up, but in that specific instance, what do you guys feel about the whole self-promo thing?
Okay.
Yeah, like GK said.
You go
like
first, Byron. Yeah.
Yeah, like GK said, like some servers have it, some don't. So just be wary of that, of course. Like if you want to post it in someone's self-promo, hey, you're free to do that. That's up to you. If you don't, that's fine. Like you if you want to use your own emotes, make sure they're relevant to like what's happening. Like if someone, like for example, if I have a laughing emote on my Twitch channel, if someone does something funny, hey, I'll post my emote because like it's like I'm laughing, and it's all in good fun. But yeah, don't be like, oh, I'm a streamer too, or like if someone asks like in their chat, hey, are there any other streamers in here? Yeah, then that's fine to bring it up, or if it's relevant to the conversation, you bring it up, but just don't be that
I need to
guy.
stop you all. I have to remind you all that Garnet is a streamer.
But yeah, bring it up when it's relevant. Don't when it's not.
Yeah.
Basically. That's how I look at it.
How about you, Lee?
I have a lot of thoughts about self-promotion. I have gone from being a link gremlin, where the only thing I've done is put promotion links in other people's servers. I have stopped doing that. I only do that when I have a charity event that I'm doing, because it's a cause outside of myself, and it's not it's not self-promotion because it's for the charity. You get it?
Yeah.
Other things relating to that. I very, very, very firmly think that putting your link in a self-promotion channel does nothing for your channel. If you truly want to grow on Twitch, your best bet to doing that is to actively collaborate with other people, spend time in their chat, not your own, and do your best to make intimate relationships on that manner. I don't think I've ever met anybody in the history of my 4 years of streaming from browsing a self-promotion channel, because the purpose of that is for that person to get discovered, but if everyone else is doing that, then it doesn't really amount to anything,
And that brings up a good point. It is sort of an oxymoron. People tune it out, but you do it, or at least I do it anyway. But I've had like one or two people say that I was on a mutual streamers server, and they mentioned, but it was like I can count that happening on one hand, and you know, maybe there were some people who mentioned it, but it's mostly a formality at this point, even
Yeah.
though I know it's not really all that helpful.
Yeah. I was gonna say a running gag that I came up with that both me and Mayhem are in on the joke on. We have this role in my server, and I call it Link Goblin, and I give it to people who specifically are only in the server to promote themselves and never interact, because that is not the kind of interaction that any
That's
community
pretty
should
good. That's
tolerate.
pretty good. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
Uh,
I hope the
yeah.
role color is like secretly green.
it's green. Yeah.
It's green. It's
I was gonna say another funny thing that kind of ties into the self-promotion thing that Dan does that I absolutely fucking love. He did it the other night in stream. There was someone in his chat who was saying, like, "Oh, can you follow me on TikTok?" And what Dan does is he plays a laugh track for them whenever
Yeah.
that happens.
Jesus. Yeah.
Wow,
It's
really?
so good.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't know that's funny. I never
that's
get
pretty
that.
good. That's pretty good.
I thought that like as you know, Dan made the joke. I've never gotten that myself in like a long time. It's like a meme, but I guess maybe I got lucky.
Sub, like if it's on
Follow my
fucking
TikTok.
YouTube.
The laugh
Those
track
are
though,
the
that's funny.
worst. Those are the worst.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Okay,
just, I don't
so
know, self-promotion, it's hard. Like, just be mindful when you
Mm.
drop the link, because you know
Yeah.
there's better options to do out there if you really want to.
Yeah, like
meet
I
up with
wouldn't be
people.
here if I didn't interact in this guy GK's channel over there. And then I wouldn't have met you two. So
it probably makes the self promo probably makes more sense when you make a video and you're not really big on making videos on YouTube. That's how I felt anyway.
but just
Okay,
interact
so
with people and
yeah,
good things will come.
it has to, like, the growth has to come naturally. You can't force it.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
sub.
sub for sub.
Jesus, like it's fucking
Yeah, by the way, Garnet does bring up a good point. I do have a TikTok. Mario Party Moments. I never set up a command for it yet, but you know, just look me up. Same thing, GK_got killed on TikTok. Follow me. Anyway, it's my stream. I can do that. Shut up. Anyway, so this is a very subjective topic, but I do want to bring it up because there is a different mindset when people are starting to stream. Is the mentality and ethics of big streamers versus small streamers, because there is sort of a difference in how it's approached between someone who is established already and someone who's starting out. Because I'm not totally against sub goals or anything like that. It can very easily be overdone and be like, if you have a sub goal, a bit dono goal, a dono goal, like all these goals all at once. For me, I think it makes more sense to have like a singular goal to work towards. But honestly, for a big streamer, like I'm talking like someone who makes it their job, I can kind of understand, like, because it is how they're getting paid and it's how they gauge how successful what they're streaming is, so they know if to continue with it or to move on. But if you're a small streamer, you can't really be pushing that because, again, it has to be natural. You can't force it. But I mean, yeah, modest dono goal. I mean, it's, yeah, like if you, like, especially if you, like, you're a small streamer and you're like in college, you can't really afford like a lot of games. So you can do, hey, I'm doing a dono goal. Like if it works out, I'll play this game. Or I remember Frag did a really good one. He did a shave his head goal, and that was funny. That was a good one.
Yeah, like,
shave his head, which,
yeah,
Byron, you
goals
should
like that are
follow suit. You should follow suit, Byron.
God, I want to get a haircut at some fucking point, but you know, pandemic.
Anyway, but yeah, also like how a viewer interacts with a big streamer. I think it's mostly that, like, if you try to comment randomly on the chat, don't expect any interactivity at all. It's just the way, it's just the logistics of it. It's not going to happen. While if you're smaller guy, like, they live on like talking with the chat. But what are your guys' thoughts on like the whole like big streamer versus small streamer approach to these things?
So it's weird. I still treat big streamers like, I mean, here's the thing. There's still people at the end of the day. The biggest difference is that how responsive they're going to be for chat, right? I feel like there's such a huge stigma that causes a lot of people to treat both bigger and smaller streamers substantially different, which I understand it to a point. But ultimately, they're just trying to do something similar to the rest of us as well, which is just presenting like good content to the world. And sometimes that does essentially mean you'll have to make compromises, such as having to focus more on the entertainment aspect rather than the interactivity thing, just because like the meta for that is just different, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, you have any extra thoughts on that, Byron, being the most young of
Oh yeah,
streamers here?
being the youngest one. Like a few people have mentioned already in the chat. Yeah, having like a dono goal is fine because if it's like for something like that you wouldn't ordinarily do, like Frag's
Yeah.
like shave head gimmick, or like if it's a game like you wouldn't normally play or a type of game you would normally play, that's fine. That's fine. You can have something like that up there. That's fine. If you're doing a charity event, charity goal, that's absolutely necessary. That's fine. That works. But other than that, yeah, don't have too many. If you're don't have too many, because that also just like clutters the screen.
Oh yeah.
Unless you can design it really well, but I've rarely seen that be like.
You know what? Lee
fit well.
designed it really well when he did his parody
Oh,
sellout timber.
Tag sell
Had his-
out timber, baby.
His dono goal that does nothing, his sub goal that does nothing. Like, those were pretty good.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting you bring that up because I usually feel that there's this sort of like expectation around me with like how I view like financial goals related to streaming. And I feel like a lot of people usually think that for whatever reason I'm like, oh, completely anti-financial goal. But like in reality, like I think it's completely fine to want to monetize your content. I think the method that most people go about doing that, however, is like not the best. And I say that coming from like this is a hobbyist perspective for me, but a lot of people
Yeah.
try to run it as a business. And I think a lot of that usually kind of bleeds into like the wrong elements, such as like having a overlay that just has like the goal, which like do many viewers even care about that to begin with? Like it's just a bar where it's like number go up, streamer go happy.
It's a dopamine hit, but for the streamer only.
Correct. And that's why I think that kind of information is usually like useless to the viewer, because it's like, well, what do I get out of this as a viewer by accomplishing this? One like a couple satirical takes that I take on that. I have during the entire month of Sellout Timber, it's the whole thing is just a parody on streamers who have absurd goals where it's just like my favorite is like the 20 out of 25 sub goal, and they hit it. And they change it to 25 out of 30. And it's like, well, I'm not getting any content out of this aside from you being like, oh, I'm happy I got money. So like, what's the point of this entire charade?
Like,
Hey, congratulations, chat! You met the goal. Challenge yourself by getting the second goal.
Like, if you're gonna
Then the
have
third.
a goal, yeah. For me, if you're gonna have a goal, have it be towards something. Like again, like Frag mentioned, if it's towards like a shaving head stream, or if it's towards like a game you wouldn't ordinarily play. If there's something attached to it, that's fine. Like GK,
Yeah.
I know you ate like a damn spicy pepper when you did
Twice.
this sub. Twice. Oh, you madman. But yeah, like as long as there's something behind it, I'm fine with that.
I love Dan's comment. Give me money because I asked for it and that's it. And ironically, I think that really is the truth for so many streamers who have these goals. And it's like, sometimes I get it, right? Because a lot of people, when they start off, they want to get like the new emote slots, which like that's understandable because that helps promote your brand.
You want that, yeah.
Like you want that, yeah.
That's
I will give Twitch credit that they added more slots for starting streamers to make it more reasonable. When you had just one tier 1, one tier 2, one tier 3, it sucked because no one was going to do tier 2 and 3. So it was a waste. But to Dan's point about giving money for just because I asked, don't forget you could sub and get my emotes. You just instead of getting that latte at Starbucks, just say no for one day.
It's only $5.
Only $5. The only $5 hairs
to buy you 5 king size Kit Kats.
Only $5 hairs. Yeah.
Just putting some incentive for giving people like a reason to give you money, because people work their behinds off. Are we allowed to curse on this or no?
I've already sworn.
Watch your fucking language.
Okay. People work their asses off just to give streamers money, and it's like, one, be grateful of that. Two, don't ask for that. Let your content speak for itself. That's what I believe, at least, because most content usually does thrive in that manner.
Yeah, like anybody who's ever like subbed to me, I'm fucking eternally grateful for. Like anybody who's given me money for streaming ever, I'm like eternally grateful for.
Oh, and this is sort of an anecdote that doesn't quite fit, but if Twitch makes it hard for the viewer to know if you sub for 1 month, you are opted in for resubbing, so you have to manually shut that off. I just want to let you guys know that because I had a guy I knew in the past and we did not like each other, and he decided to sub to me as like a joke, and he put in a joke, and I just sort of brushed it off. It's like, yeah, whatever. The dude forgot to unsub. He forgot to unsub for almost a whole year, and he wanted to fucking mock.
That's hilarious.
So don't feel like you have to sub. If you do sub, understand that you were opted in for resubbing. I don't know why Twitch. Well, I know I do understand because Twitch takes a piece, but Anyway, and I guess in terms of more ethics, I think this will. When it comes to how you like for modding, particularly, I think don't treat your mods like they're employees. You know,
like if you want to pay them and you're a really big streamer, that more power to you. You're more than welcome to do that. More than welcome to do that. But mods generally are not your employee. No, they're not. They're not your employee. Don't treat them like.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, like, I feel like that kind of goes without saying, but we had, and this will sort of transition into a different issue, but do you have any comments on the whole, like, mod thing, Lee, before we move on to the more broader topic on that?
I absolutely agree with mods aren't employees. Like, it's ultimately like a sort of, I'm going to say like volunteer position. That's the best way I can describe it, where it's like, if they can help out, awesome. But if not, like, there shouldn't be some sort of expectation from the streamer to be like, oh, well, why didn't any of my mods do that? Because that's just like, well, you have to understand that like the world doesn't revolve around your stream, right? Like people like do it because they like helping or they just want to do something of that nature rather than just having you're a mod, like I get to tell you everything to do, which is not the case.
Yeah, and also if you become like if you're a normal viewer and you become a mod, like don't feel like you have to put in hours and all that, because that could be a thing too. Like you're a VIP, you've been there very early, and you become a mod, and you feel like, oh, I'm obligated now. I gotta do things. Like that's another thing. Also, if you want to be a mod, don't send your resume and ask for payment.
Don't ask to be a mod.
Don't ask to be a mod for one.
Like, if anyone does that, like they're never gonna get it. Period.
Like a mod blacklist. Like, hey, I'm not gonna give this person a mod specifically because they asked.
But the reason I bring that up, because it does tie into the more broader topic of watching out, like being wary of people who may not like care about you so much, but they just sort of hang out with. Man, I'm trying to like think of the most tactful way to approach this, and Frag probably knows what I'm going to bring up. Now, if you're a small streamer, it can be like, if you get someone who subs, you get someone who donates some bits, or they donate, like, it feels good, like, oh, this person's supporting.
Yeah.
And then, like, if they hang around, they become a regular, and then you eventually make them a mod because you trust them, because you hung out with them enough, they actually supported, they weren't just some rando who showed up and, am I lagging?
A little bit, but
oh shoot!
You were for a
second. I don't know. I hope you guys.
Minor.
Okay. I think I'm fine. Almost lost my train of thought. You have someone who you trust, or not just some random person who like makes some random comments, and then like most of the time it's fine. I think most people are kind of cool when it comes to this sort of thing. They're willing to like hang around, support, but you will occasionally have a person who will come in, who may donate, who may sub, who may have like a little bit of disposable income, who may like initially like your stream, you make them a mod. And then they'll start doing things like banning people they dislike from your stream and not tell you. They will act like they have some kind of authority and try to basically run your stream, run your shit. And when you're starting out, like you don't want to like you may not like it. It's like, oh, hey, they banned that person. I didn't want them to ban that person, but I don't want to like cause issues because this person supported me. So out of respect from them, I'm just going to let this thing go. Maybe it's a one-off. And yeah, as Frag said, donating a lot doesn't mean the person owns you. Yeah, you can appreciate the support, but understand that they don't dictate how your shit is run. And I have like a lot. Frag more so has like a big personal experience. I also dealt with this issue where someone would go behind back. This person, I believe was sociopathic, was actually trying to cause issues and then try to steal audience like from this other people. Like it was the same story. They go on. They had this big network of people. They would bring them all together. They would one by one cause issues to knock that one person out and try to convince their audience to stay with this other group. And then again, knock this other person out, make up a bunch of bullshit, not elaborate as what the issue was. And this person outright lied about interactions with people because after a while, this kept happening. It was a repeat pattern of behavior. We asked the person, "Hey, can you show us your DMs from this person if you're willing?" And what they said did not line up with this other person said. And this other person, who is a colossal douche, I might add, was doing all like this nonsense for their own personal clout. They were like trying to create a network and destroy people. And that's like a personal anecdote, and that's not normal. But just the bottom line is, be wary when like people donate. It doesn't mean they get to dictate your stream. You run your own stream. If you have like a friend who's like a trusted mod, if they ban someone, you just undo the ban, tell them not to. Like, it's no big deal. Like, run your shit. It's your house. Like, I don't know if you guys have any more expanded thoughts on that.
I wanted to actually say I heavily agree with you on that. I do think that ultimately like the streamer is the one that makes the call for it, whether it be on like the Twitch side, like the Twitter side, like the Discord side. I mean, moderation is extremely helpful and always appreciated, but I do think it's ultimately still the streamer's house and they get to make the final call. Even something as simple as like having a mod ask for something that might be like a gray area for that is like very appreciated, rather than just always pulling the trigger, because you never know like how the streamer would feel about that kind of thing. So doesn't hurt to ask, but just good to be mindful that it's their creative space, and it goes two ways.
Yeah.
How about you? Any thoughts on that, Byron? Considering we managed to warn you ahead of time, but I'm pretty sure you're the kind of person who probably know to not fall for that.
Yeah. I've been a mod for quite a few other people, so I've seen some shit. Even recently, I saw some shit, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, Frag brought up an interesting question. Thoughts on moderating for other streamers? Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on
as far
that?
as like the logistics for it, or just like how you feel about it?
I don't know. Frag only asked thoughts on modding other streamers. Oh, modding.
I'm trying to find
other
that comment.
streamers. Okay, like having another streamer be your moderator. I think.
Oh, well, I feel like that's kind of a courtesy because they're in the space and they sort of understand it, but there's no expectation that they have to. This person I knew would like have a bunch of mods who were also streamers, and he would go around DMing everyone, "Hey, I'm streaming, I need help." And it was really, he was just doing it to pump his numbers up, and it was really nonsense. But back to like, I don't want to get too off track though. As modding for other streamers, I think that's fine because this person has like quote unquote skin in the game. That if like, let's say if it's a random viewer and there's like a major disagreement, they could like totally torpedo everything, like cause actual harm, because if their account gets banned, their account meant nothing to them because they're just they weren't streaming themselves. Like, they have only their name to worry about. If it's another streamer, you can have that kind of mutual respect. Almost, I don't want to say coworker because that's like kind of a bad way to put it. I guess a person in the sphere that understands like the back end of things. I think that's how it goes, and it's fine, I think.
I was gonna say, like, given a choice, I usually feel more comfortable modding someone who's a streamer, specifically because they're more well aware of all the different intricacies that kind of go into like maintaining a Twitch chat, keeping like a healthy atmosphere,
Yeah.
And things of that nature. Just because they do have actual experience doing that. I mean, that's not to say I don't mod like viewers who don't stream, but
Yeah.
I do think that also is a big contributor toward feeling more comfortable as a streamer with moderation.
Yeah, and how would you feel about that, Byron? Any expanded thoughts?
No, pretty much agree with Lee on that. Yeah.
right.
as someone with literally no other mods except myself.
Some
Well,
network influence.
now, yeah, the thing is, if you're going to stream, if you have like an average of like even upwards of like, let's say 20, 25 people, I think you should be able to moderate that chat on your own to some degree. It helps to have a mod.
A ratio I've heard is like 1 mod for like every 10 viewers.
I mean, that's fine too, you know.
I've heard thrown around.
I mean, well, for at least for starting out, obviously, like the big streamers who have like 1,000
big
watchers,
streamers need like
they don't have 100
a lot
mods.
more mods than like someone like us, but.
All right. Well, any other thoughts on like the whole ethics of streaming? I sort of hit my bullet points, but do you guys have any extra things on the general ethics of streaming?
I have a lot. This is probably going to be like my most like my biggest one, at least for me. I think a big one, at least for me, as far as the ethics of streaming goes, is I don't know. I'm assuming like most of us have kind of experienced this, but I think boundaries with viewers is a pretty big one. Because I feel like there's a lot of instances where, well, like, look, I'm just going to say it up front. Streaming, this is inherently a parasocial relationship between the streamer and a lot of members of the audience, because the likelihood of being able to intimately be close with every single member of your community is just like it's impossible, right? Because there's even studies that help like prove that as well, such as I think it's called Dunbar's number, where the human brain is only able to have 150 close relationships, and eventually like that's going to like you're going to hit that number, right? And I think a lot of different streamers have to address the ideas with like boundaries with what they're willing to accept and what they're not willing to tolerate as far as behavior goes. um at least in my personal space, one of the biggest problems that I've kind of had is the idea of people divulging into excessively heavy topics within like the content creation sphere, because streaming is different for everyone, right? Some spaces are more able for people to kind of talk about like heavy life stuff. For me, streaming is like a huge reprieve for me to get away from the stresses of like both daily life and my own anxiety by kind of channeling that into positive creative energy. So I know like one big problem that I face a lot is because I'm super empathic and I want to listen, but I don't like my empathy being taken advantage of, which has happened before with like newcomers just feeling like excessively like comfortable like saying really personal things when like I'm not okay with that. You guys ever been through any of that?
Yeah.
Not really.
Do you want to start, Byron?
No, I don't. I haven't really had that experience yet. So, but look,
right,
I'm only a year and a half into the game. Maybe someday I'll have to deal.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that.
Sooner than you think.
Now.
Sooner than you think. Because
Yeah,
I had that. I've had that too. Where I guess, I mean, I try to like. I don't want to like make it like, hey, I'm the streamer. Like you stay on your corner kind of thing. I try to like let people in, but the best way I can phrase it is that some people get a little too familiar too fast. Like if you're just going into his stream, don't act like you're like you can get into the inner circle, so to speak. Because I've had this situation where I have my Mario Party VC and it is limited to 4 people, and I got into it anticipating people to come in, but a certain person who was brand new to the stream jumped in and immediately like started like talking, and I and to put it in a very nice way, that this person was on the spectrum, clearly. He jumped into the VC while I was streaming, prepping for Mario Party, saying, hey, I want to play the Mario Party. It's like, well, hey, we gotta like, normally I want to test off stream first. I have people lined up already. And then he started asking me, hey, I want to make a map. Can you like help me make the board, the custom Mario Party board? I was like, that's like that's like a little, I don't really know you, guy. Like what's going on? And it was like really, really awkward, the whole thing. And yeah, I didn't want to like immediately just kick the guy out, but it was just kind of annoying, and the guy got more frustrated because we weren't like focusing in on him, and then eventually he just went away. Yeah.
In the past, I've gotten a lot of instances where I usually have like people I don't know asking if they can like be in the VC, and my answer to that now is just like, if I don't know you, you're not getting in there, because all it takes is one bad word for me to lose my platform to express
Oh,
myself.
oh yeah, especially it's people you don't know. That's why like you would like filter it, like have someone you interact with a little bit. Which by the way, if anyone wants to call in, like you can call in ahead of time. We'll drag people in pretty soon. So I think we're want to get some anecdotes from people. You know, and I guess before we do call ins, just again, is there any more you guys want to talk about? Like
There's a
with the
lot.
whole...
Yeah, I have quite a few bullet points I want to get through.
Okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah, another thing that is pretty important, I think, is the idea of having boundaries with streamers as well, because I've had my fair share of very strange and awkward discourse amongst several other of my fellow creators. You can always tell, you can always get like a feel for someone's personality when you are able to kind of like sit down with them one on one and kind of like get an idea for like what they want. Because I've been in situations where I've had someone quite literally tell me that they mainly only wanted to like get to know me as like a means of networking and being part of like to basically kind of like get their
Gross.
not piece of the pie, but like they very explicitly said like I only want to get to know you for networking purposes. And I'm like, well, I appreciate the transparency, but I'm very clearly being used, which I don't like.
Ew, like what the
Jesus.
That
fuck?
was one of the worst ones I've had.
Did that person really think he was gonna like take off and become super successful by
Yeah,
like just
like
what the fuck?
Christ.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like-
It was weird because it happened after like a month or two after me like hanging out with them and playing games. But like that lingering sense in my mind, I'm just like, I like don't do that. Like, don't be a sociopath. Don't fucking use other content
He was
creators.
grooming you for
Sheesh.
growth purposes.
Jesus.
Yeah, they were.
Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, like
Ah.
I know other weird scenarios are like, I don't know if anyone else has ever been in the position of like having like streamers message you when they go live, like privately. I had one person who basically they asked me in a friend's chat why I don't watch them anymore. This should just be basic etiquette that you should never ever do that. Which is just like another common sense thing I feel should be the case as far as
Hey
boundaries
Lee, that was
go.
only one time. Why are you still hung up on that?
But
it wasn't me. It was just
no,
kidding.
Yeah, no, it wasn't GK. It was someone else. But boundaries are so important, which I think is good as far as that goes. What about you guys? Have you had issues as far as boundaries for streamers?
How about you, Byron? First.
no, not really. Again, like
You're so lucky.
I've been relatively like clean. Like I had one incident, but it was like some jokers spamming like Among Us art. That's
the general
NSFW. That's
troll
the
asshole.
That's the only bad experience I had, and that happened to me like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So I've gotten pretty freaking lucky. Other than that.
Yeah, I think for me, it was mostly what I said before about that one guy he straight up told me in a private conversation, like the only reason he was streaming was for the money, which is really, really gross. And I was like thinking like, I mean, it's a nice incentive to have like your hobby pay for itself, but the only reason you're not doing this for the hobby or anything. And once we got to know this certain person who everyone hates, he did it. He basically played games only, like he was not genuine at Smash, like good at Smash, or he even didn't even really like the game. He was only playing it for the growth, and it was pretty clear, you know. And it was just kind of weird. That was like really the only one bad experience I can think of, like majorly. By the way, Garnet, we are getting pretty close to calling, so if you want to hop in and I'll queue you up. Anyway, do you have any more? Generally speaking.
I got a few more.
Okay.
Man, another one as far as the ethics of streaming go are drama. I have been on the receiving end of this quite a few times throughout my 4 years of streaming. I also recognize that, you know, there's instances where I could have just said, no, I don't want any part of these things. But streaming is ultimately something people do for fun. If people have issues with others that are within the community, I am a firm believer that they should be addressed with the people they have a problem with, instead of always needing to get like the quote unquote teacher involved, unless it's like a legit serious thing that violates terms of service. But too many instances that I've had like a stream ruin just because someone thinks their like their say so just matters enough to kind of kill someone's fun, you know. Which also kind of ties into the idea of like trolls as well. As far as like the ethics behind that go, it's similar principle to like the moderation thing. Like the streamer has the call for that, and I think it's good to be mindful of like what you create, because I kind of fall under the idea that, you know, the stream is kind of like a garden, right? And you don't want like a bad crop to ruin the rest of it, you know? What do you guys think as far as that goes for like, you know, like potentially gray area, like troublemakers?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you don't want to be like overly strict. I mean, like, that's how I view it. Like, if someone wants to joke around, even if someone wants to troll, okay, haha, funny joke. Oh, you put ASCII thing, all right. You know, I mean, I can't have that. I just gotta ban you. But it's like, yeah, you know, it's just like one of those things. Or like when I had sound requests, which by the way is also kind of a risky thing, which I don't recommend. I did have people put in certain songs with things that shouldn't be there, and I would say, I see it in the queue, I'm removing it. You know, please don't do that again because I might not be paying attention. I don't go straight for the ban. But it's like one of those things where I try to take these trolls as like potential viewers, and you know, entice them in. It's like, hey, we're a cool environment. I'm not like one of those people that like flip out like the troll targets that like get all angry or you know whatever. Yeah. What do you think, Byron?
Yeah, I don't really have much to say.
You
Like
get lucky. You dodged
Yeah,
all
like,
the
You're
horrendous
so lucky,
shit.
Byron.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
believe you haven't had to deal with any of these things.
You dodged all the
like
horrendous
the only
shit.
thing, like I mentioned it earlier, I only had to deal with like some like weird NSFW ASCII art like 3 days.
Oh, that's it? Oh, that's it, huh?
That's literally it.
The gray area stuff
Okay.
is the hardest, just because
Yeah,
like
gray area
it makes
stuff
you doubt
is
your
the
skills.
hardest because it's like you have to take it. I will say this: you have to take this on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say on that one.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of subjectivity to how things they're handled. All right.
Garnet doesn't have these issues either. Man, everyone's so fortunate for this.
we started streaming at the worst time.
Apparently, dude.
Yeah. Well, or any other points before we start letting call-ins in?
That was pretty much it for mine.
All right.
What about
so I'm
Byron,
gonna
though, because
oh yeah, Byron. Actually, I forgot. Yeah, you have any other last minute things before we let call-ins in?
Also, are we saving the do's and don'ts for after the call-ins, or?
Yeah, we can probably work the do's and don'ts in. I mean, that sort of fits in with like a lot
Yeah,
of.
that's pretty much all I have. I haven't.
Yeah, I think with the call-ins there, adding that when we do the do's and don'ts, like them being here might also be good.
Okay,
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Byron.
Let's bring the people on into the.
Who's our first contestant?
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have them all hang in, but we're
Oh
gonna
my
let them.
god!
Oh shit!
Now.
Oh, you gotta adjust these.
All right. Yeah. So, sorry, everyone. Let me. I have
You're
to.
covered by a duck, GK.
Oh, whoops.
We got a party going on in here, ladies and gentlemen.
Only you can see that.
I can only
All
see
right.
the duck.
And okay,
Byron, I
so
love
I'm
your
limited
hair.
to how many people I can bring in. So, all right. So I want to give the floor to one of you. So who wants to give their first piece?
I don't. I have horrible social anxiety. And I'm kidding. Whoever wants to go first.
I came on and I wasn't really sure like exactly what I was gonna say. I feel like I have a really like unique like perspective on like streaming just as a whole, because I had such a weird like journey. It was something that like I always wanted to do when I was younger, and then like, you know, I finally got the chance and my dad didn't believe in me, and then I was like, dude, I really just fucking went at it like a business, like, and it definitely like ruined my experience for sure, because like I was just pushing so hard the entire time and not really enjoying the good parts, I guess, while they lasted. But I also ran into so much like crap, so much bullshit and drama. Like I'm surprised that you guys haven't had situations like that where you just like there's people that just completely take so much of your time and energy and just like your entire like that's really what killed it for me at the end of the day. You know, it's
Can I just ask what platform are you normally getting these interactions on? Is it like Discord or like in your actual chats?
So
Like on
yeah, no,
Twitch?
that is a good question. So primarily, like you would meet these people through Twitch, and then they like come into your Discord, and then they cause issues most of the time. Because like, and I think that's like something that's like really interesting is that like, you know, like I have had thoughts of like coming back to streaming just like casually and stuff, like, you know, on occasion I think about it, and I would never ever have a Discord server ever again. Not again. No, I would just stream. I really would.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have a Discord, but it's all privately managed by me, so like it's all private invite.
Yeah, the thing
only,
about the
so
Discord
you can weed
is
people out super quickly.
the thing about the Discord, it is a good way to organize community or events. It is like it has an extra level of stress, but I feel like it's kind of a necessity when you start to get into the growth in streaming.
I think it also depends on how active you are in your Discord, like how open to the actual public you are, and like, are you just hanging out in regular voice chats where people can join, like, and if your viewers are like, because like I tried to build a Discord, like I thought about this like a lot, and I was like, how can I get people always hanging out in here? Like, I'm gonna have music bots, I'm gonna have like places for people to play Smash and just meet up, channels for them to find matches. I'm going to try to incentivize them to the fullest form to hang out together. And by making them have like a friend group, they're more tied to my community because they're tied to other people of my community, as well as just having an interest in watching me. And that causes a lot of issues when you incentivize that behavior, because then everybody's interacting with everybody else, and all the moderators have to deal with any issues that pop up. And then it comes straight to me, and then I have to deal with it. And then it's, dude,
you're skating a really fine line there, because if you're trying to get that, it's great for your stream, but you're also starting to create like a hive mind mentality, which ends up blocking out newer people. And so then it feels like it's like impossible.
Yeah, the mob mentality is real.
Yeah, it makes newcomers impossible to join the inner clique.
Yeah, no, that I do agree with that, because that definitely did start to happen more often. But I think by that point, I guess maybe it was like a viewership level thing, where like when I was like 0 to 10 viewers, that was like really big for me. And then once I got past that, I started to learn the ropes and like was able to, just, I guess, just be a better entertainer and get people to come into the stream just for me. But it definitely helped me out initially, I would say, like to do that, and it definitely broke down at some points.
Yeah, like Discord's a good tool for that. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, from my personal experience, I very firmly think that running a Discord, actively maintaining it, and dealing with the leadership responsibilities along with the engagement has been substantially more difficult than the actual process of streaming on Twitch, because it's so
constant.
much. Yeah, it's constant. It's always there, and you have to make sure that like both you're happy, and then everyone else within it is happy as well.
And that all falls on you.
Stress. Yeah, it does. It's completely on the streamer. I mean, a mod team can help, but realistically, like with how many other servers people are in, it's still ultimately going to be on the individual that created it.
Right. And even if let's say the mod team makes a decision without even consulting you, because I think you brought this up earlier, right? Then they make a decision without consulting you just because they felt that it was the right thing to do. That has an ability to prop up more issues, because some people might not respect.
It's not always the right thing to do.
They would. Well, yeah, and the mods might make the wrong call too.
They just don't like someone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
that happens too.
Inevitably it'll come down the line and fall into your plate, and it's another thing that you have to, like, I can't stress enough how much Twitch is kind of glorified in a way where it's like, damn, I would love to just like hop on stream for 3 hours, play my favorite video game, and make it into a business. That is not what it is. If you think that that's what it is, like, and you're trying to like go the route and like not hobby style, but like business all the way down and like become like a top level streamer, you have to be spending probably, like, let's say 3 hours on stream, but then you got to be watching, like, let's say like 3 hours a day, I feel like, to meet new people and like interact with communities that you're already in. And then you have to also balance the Discord on top of that. And that's like more than a full day's work.
Yeah, that, and also Lee just brought up in the chat the creating YouTube content. That also was ultimately incredibly important.
I agree.
Yeah.
Someone once told me when they were like getting bigger on Twitch that you can't really get famous on Twitch alone. Like, you have to branch out everywhere else, because everyone wants to be a Twitch streamer. Everyone will hop in for like maybe an hour or two, and they might not even keep the VOD available. Everybody's on this platform. Like, not to say people aren't on YouTube too. Obviously they are. But the thing with Twitch is that you don't really get much of an algorithm for recommendeds aside from the top panel of like your interests or like the big streamers that got advertised. So, trying to get your voice only on there is basically a crapshoot, unless you get really fucking lucky and like more lucky than the YouTube algorithm.
Well,
Yeah, it's
well,
like,
I
it's like
agree.
you're screaming into a well, like. "Ah!"
But that's why I think you have to use like Twitch to its fullest potential and like join other streams often and interact with other communities. Like, and I think
Co-op
that
games.
yeah, and co-op games like collaborations like that I think is better than just like have like not interacting with people on Twitch and just doing YouTube. Like, because I don't think that the people like GK, you had a lot of experience with this because you had a really successful YouTube video. But like, how many people actually crossed over from YouTube to Twitch?
The thing with me is that this was sort of a one-off where I made an iceberg video. I think a decent amount of people know this. I made 2 good iceberg videos that hit the trending on YouTube, and it was sort of a one-off. I don't expect any future video I make to get to this level of success, but from those videos, I had probably a few dozen people trickle in and follow on Twitch. I can't say how many of them actually like would follow like or would lurk or watch. Is entirely possible, but it did actually help quite a bit, and it was relevant. The videos I made were relevant enough. Like the Mario Party iceberg, I played a lot of Mario Party, and I felt like a lot of people who were interested in Mario Party from the iceberg would probably be interested in lurking. Like I'm also like honestly kind of confused why my average viewership goes. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be so confused. My average viewership goes up when I play Mario Party. And I think mostly for me being known, and also partially because of that video I made. Probably people who may have liked watching it and don't necessarily interact in the chat. They're just committed lurkers, which is totally fine.
Yeah, like.
May I bring up a question for the panel to discuss?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are y'all's difficulties with trying to diversify your platform? Because, like GK said, like his main thing is Mario Party. My main thing Smash. Everyone else has their own thing. What would y'all say is the difficulties you guys have with just trying to branch out your games, or even just chatting or podcasts, whatever, and dealing with people that are like I don't really want to, I don't know, this isn't what I want to see.
I'd say motivation is the biggest one. At least in my case, my biggest thing is that I've been losing a lot of interest as far as like streaming on Twitch goes, just because I feel like I've covered a lot of what I've really wanted to do. And at this point in my life, one, I want to focus more on my career, and 2, have other creative outlets to be able to kind of express myself in the content creation sphere. So as far as that goes, at least in my case, I want to focus more on YouTube, which is like ironic because like going from like Twitch to YouTube after 4 years, it's just like, I should have been doing that beforehand, but the hurdle of motivation has kind of just always been there, along with like the slow logistical upgrade of like better gear as well.
Yeah, and the knowledge of using the programs, like editing videos is quite hard. And Gran, brought up just like using the right softwares, and also like everything else, like following the algorithms and all that. But just in terms of specifically with the program, like editing program, that's I think streaming itself is not super plug and play. It takes a little bit of effort, but I think that's easier than editing software. Editing software is like a more specialized skill than running OBS when you get things moving. It was definitely, for people who don't know how to edit, it's quite a head turner. And I personally got lucky because it was one of my hobbies during like early college, so I really got lucky in that regard.
Yeah, and the thing with content creation for videos too is that when you're on stream, you have whatever tools you have at your disposal. Maybe just a microphone or a camera, maybe some command bots or some other equipment like a soundboard or whatever, which is all fine and dandy. But once you get into like Premiere, and every single like minuscule part of your audio and video can be edited to such a fine degree, not to mention if you want to use After Effects or something to really bring out your creative vision, that is just like a huge step up in how much more effort you would have to put if you really want to maximize your potential. Because like there's so much more you could do on an editing software, and it just can be that much more daunting to be like, fuck, like, is this as good as I can make it? Like there are definitely some videos I've had beforehand where I'm just like, I feel like I might have rushed this a bit too much just to hopefully get part of the algorithm. Spoiler alert, it didn't really do shit. But I mean, it wasn't something I completely regretted. You know, it was just like, all right, I did what I did. I'll learn from this, and I can do better next time. If it does better, cool. If not, whatever. Next video can do better. But yeah,
I think it's like really what the barrier was for me with YouTube is just, you know, I already said how much of my time was being taken up in different spots, and I just didn't really have 3 hours to like edit and render a video like that I could like put my name on and be like, yes,
It's time
I feel
consuming.
like there's it really is. It really is. And like it's even tougher when you do like scripted videos and stuff like that.
Time to
And
write.
Right.
Let me give you a piece of advice if you're gonna do like a long form video. If you're using Premiere or any editing software, organize everything in your folders. I had to find that out later on in one of my longer videos. And if I didn't organize anything, I would have been fucked because there were a lot of things I had to redub, some scripts I had to edit, some video clips and B-roll that I had to move in and out. And if I didn't have that
Especially if you have a lot
organized,
of assets.
oh yeah, especially if you have a lot of assets, a lot of video recordings, a lot of songs in the background, all that. If you don't organize your projects, you're gonna take at least twice as long to finish it. So please, for the
Is
love
that
of God, organize
doing
everything in a
this
folder.
are doing these videos like something that you like everybody else here is really driven to do in general?
I'll leave that to you guys.
I would like to at some point.
'Cause
Absolutely.
I feel like I might be an
personally, I've
outlier. I
been
have
lazy.
no desire to do videos or any of that stuff. No desire.
That's fair.
The
That's
thing
fair.
is, for me, it's the first few steps. I've been putting off videos, and I've got like a personal high off of the videos I got. The two really good videos I made. The
Hey, GK,
Mario
stay
Party
humble,
Iceberg.
man. Stay humble.
And the
Frag, be
N64.
like, oh, it's doing numbers.
The thing, yeah. Oh, this is doing numbers. Yes, that meme song.
Number goes up. Dopamine, immediate dopamine.
Yeah. But and I was like thinking, oh man, if I continue with this, then maybe it will turn like the YouTube will become a good like extra thing for me. But I'm such a lazy son of a bitch that it's hard to make the videos, like write it, like making the time to write it on top of school and work. I've been putting it off, and it's like a big time investment, and it's really hard to like get that down.
Yeah, and like Twitch isn't even like my main thing. Like Twitch for me is just a hobby basically, and like whatever happens happens. Since I'm a keyboard warrior, I have an office job, so and I don't have the kind of time to like go into all like the minutia of creating a YouTube video or have the time to go into other communities as much to be able to promote myself. So it's kind of I'm in a little bit of a different spot, so it's hard for me to relate to like most of what y'all are saying to a degree because I'm completely opposite spectrum.
No, I completely get what you're saying.
Like obviously my job is forefront. That's what pays the bills. Like Twitch can't and probably won't ever pay the bills.
I remember when I was doing streaming at a time, I was doing a part-time job and streaming, and like, you know, just the way that it worked out, like I felt like I was pushed to the brink. Like I would like, you know, I would wake up, go to work, come home, like stream, hang out in other streams, manage my Discord, like while I'm doing all that, and then like go to bed and just do it all over again.
Sounds kind
Like,
of miserable, honestly.
Yeah, it
turning
was
into a
rough for
job.
while.
Turning it into a job.
Yeah, no, it really did feel tough. And I mean, when Corona came around, it did give me an opportunity to like push forward like full force. And I mean, like I definitely saw pretty good growth in my channel when I was streaming. Like I remember when I started again, like actually like ready to pursue streaming. Like I didn't even know at the time, but like I started around like 300 followers, I think, from when I used to stream like way back in the day. And then I went like at the end of like a year and a half, I think I had like 2,000 something. And
really good.
Yeah, no, it definitely was like a, you know, but I was pushing on all fronts to like make it into something. I'm like, hey, you wanna collaborate? You wanna do something? Like, hey, I'm in your channel. I'm talking to your community. I'm making sure that I'm a presence there. Like, you know, and for Smash, I would like go into arenas. It was really easy for me to like to branch myself out because I would go into arenas, and since like I had a background in like Smash 4 Brawl like before that, I kind of had a leg up on like the competition, so I was pretty good like at the start, and like people didn't know all the zero suit tricks that you could do to like
you were Rob main, right?
You fucking degenerate.
How dare you say that? How dare you on the podcast? Oh man,
Exposed.
No, but
Frag,
Frag,
exposed.
May I ask something of you, Frag, since you said you did Smash content?
yeah.
How many times have you beat someone and then they just fucking rip you a new asshole because they are salty as shit from a lot?
I remember that a lot towards the beginning of when I was streaming. People would get upset, but most of the time, like, you know, they would just stay because they wanted to beat me again. They would just stay in line and they would get like irritated, and I would just like trash talk them back, you know, keep it playful.
Yeah,
But
of
like,
course.
you know, trash talking back a little bit, and that definitely helped. Eventually, like I ended up like falling behind in the competition just because I felt like I wasn't, you know, when you're playing for the stream and it's not always what you want to be playing, like you're like playing for the stream and just because like it's the game to play to like get you where you want to go, definitely demotivates you and like makes the game less fun, you know, over time. It's just like, you know, and you'll try to branch out and you're like, I'm just gonna play this today because I'm tired of playing Smash. I'm just gonna play something else. And then like you end up getting like a tenth of your audience that shows up.
If you're lucky.
And and you're
Yeah,
like,
that was a tough
damn.
transition.
You know, especially like, you know, the first couple of times around people show up and like you'll even have those. I want to make a statement for people who are viewers. Like if a streamer's not playing the game that you came for, don't make a comment like, "Oh, you're not playing this game," and then just like leave, because that is like the worst thing that you could do.
Yeah, just leave or just don't click on the stream. Don't make a comment about it because it's a little gross.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not doing a pool stream or bathtub stream? All right, fuck.
Yeah, no bathtub stream. I'm out, man.
Oh, that's my next my next donation goal.
So looping back to those,
you'll get more than you bargained for.
Oh, sorry. Did you gonna say something, Garnet?
Oh no, you're fine.
Got it. So I had one experience that absolutely trumped anything else that ever happened to me on a stream. So like again, as a Smash streamer, like there's just people that, you know, trash talk and all that, and you know, I'm all for that. You know, a little bit of healthy, you know, banter is fine, you know, as long as it's at a good level. But I had this one asshole, this one singular little bitch that literally, okay, it wasn't even from my fight. So first of all, I fought him. We both fought. He beat me. I was like, all right, good game. All good. Didn't say anything in chat. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So he faces off against my friend. And I have my lie detection software on the side. So my friend's like, what the hell's going on with the connection? So I look at him like, oh, it's actually on him. So he was like, oh, you want me to, like, could you kick him out? Because like this is doo-doo internet. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I kick him out. And he then hops my chat like, wow, bro, you're really going to kick me out like that? And I'm like, it wasn't even my fight, dude. Like, it's my friend, and like, sorry, he kind of takes precedence, but you know, internet sometimes gets bad. So.
That's like a Smash specific thing where there's certain people who are oblivious to their connection.
Oh, like, but it gets better. Hold on, you haven't heard the best part. So after that, he then says, "I hope you enjoy losing your internet." I'm like, whatever you say, dude. And then he literally fucking DDoSed me. He DDoSed my internet on the block, and I think a couple of the blocks in my area. And
what a
my
piece
internet,
of shit!
I know, what a fucking piece of shit. And my internet and everyone's went down. I'm like, are you fucking really? You were so mad at a fucking game, you take down someone's internet? Like, bro, go touch some fucking grass.
Yeah, Jesus. That's not only fucking over you. That fucked over
fucking over everyone. It's like at least 24 people around my area. But not only that, he also tried to join my Discord, which, by the way, looping back to that too. I have a system set up where I have a bot that,
as everyone should.
Yes. They have to click on her email to be like, all right, if you want in, click this. If not, you don't do shit. I saw the new members and I saw his name, and my mod told me like, yo, dude, he's trying to join it too. I'm like, nah, fuck you, dude. Like, you're getting instant ban. I don't want to hear or see shit from you
good
again after that bullshit.
Deserved. Get the fuck out of here.
I've had a couple of weird instances. Like, I remember back in the day when I used to stream, like even before I decided to make it a path forward, I ended up having 2 instances. One where I got DDoSed, and then one where like somebody follower botted me. And I just, yeah, exactly. And I didn't know what to do. Like, dude, like, or no, it wasn't follower bot. It was a viewer bot. And what happened was like, I was playing Call of Duty Zombies, and all these people are talking in Spanish, asking me if I like FIFA. Like, I'm like, what is this? But you know what, my response to that most of the time, and I know that this might be a little bit controversial, but like what I do is I try not to let them get a rise out of me, because like if they do, they're gonna stay and try to keep getting that rise out of me and like keep getting me upset. So like I'll just try to like play it off as like funny, like whatever, and just hope that they move on. Like, you know, like I feel like a lot of those like troll type people are really looking for a reaction to like their, like,
absolutely,
you know, their jolt of like, I got them. So like I try to like refrain from giving them that. I don't know how, if you guys have had similar situations and where like,
I just sort of brush it off, and like no big, whatever.
Don't give them their hit of dopamine.
I make fun of them. I turn them into the content.
Fair.
No, I just
There's 5 minutes of fame. Enjoy while
I just
it lasts.
answer to them genuinely, and they just usually just like, why aren't you getting mad at I'm being an asshole? I'm like, it's whatever. As long as you're not in terms of service, I'll ban you if you say like bad word, like, you know, the real bad stuff.
Yeah, or if you start spamming. I draw the line at that.
I mean, I've got controls on my Twitch that you can't spam too many messages in a row, so
that's good.
I would recommend turning that on.
But, yeah, also, I haven't had the chance to give you the floor, Garnet, if you have any general comments about anything we talked about in streaming in general.
Mainly just still fuck audio.
In what
I want to go back to.
Is my audio okay, chat? Is my audio okay?
No answer ever.
Okay,
Like,
I don't remember if it was in
it's so
GK's
hard.
Discord or someone else's, but someone posted one of those memes from Invincible. It's like, so when do I not make mistakes with my audio? That's the fun part.
I think I might have posted that. I think I might have.
I think it was you.
No, I did.
I
I put that in what's this called, the memes. I put, someone else tweeted it, and I put it in. I want to actually show that real quick.
It's so true though.
Yeah, there it is. It is from GK.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So true.
Oh, give me a second. I'll put it in here.
God, trying to
share
balance
screens.
you, the game, and then if you have other people like in a Discord call, like it's such a mess.
Yeah.
It's such a shit
And then
show.
like you ask the viewers and they'll be like, it's too loud, and then you'll lower it, and then like somebody else will be like, man, you guys are really quiet, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Story of
There
my
it
life.
is.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah, this.
realistically, most audio issues can be solved by doing like a test recording beforehand. But I mean, sometimes things happen in the
Yeah,
middle of it. So.
sometimes
Test
shit
recording.
happens. Like
I love how the punchline is not even in this. Is not even in
No,
this.
we just know.
yeah, it's like
But
He's just
no,
like,
even OBS and slobs and stuff will even screw up, or it even shows that you have an output and you see your levels and everything looks good, and then it's just still not even putting that out to Twitch. I actually had that happen the other day.
Big.
It's
fucking
so
yes.
annoying.
If anybody here is working from home, do you have to use Google Voice by any chance?
No,
no.
No.
I
Okay,
have to
'cause let me
use
tell you-
Microsoft Teams.
I have to
Okay,
use Teams. It's
So
awful.
here's the
Use
thing
Slack.
with Google Voice. For some stupid fucking reason, it always decides to screw with my microphone settings in control panel. Like, it'll literally take my mic level from like, I don't know, like half percentage or like 60% all the way up to fucking 99 or 100, because it assumes that since I'm using a VoIP client, I have to boost my microphone all the way and be like, hello, can you hear me? This is Jonathan from my company. How can I help you? Or whatever. And I'm
Yeah. Oh my god. That's something
Customer
I hate
service
doing.
voice.
Time before I do that. Because if I forget and I join either a Discord call or stream, my friends will be like, JonGon, why the fuck are you so loud? You're about to blow my damn ears. And I'm like, because my stupid Google Voice account, or rather my boss's technically, I have to turn it down from that because it thinks I'm being quiet, which I'm not. Y'all can hear me just fine,
Yeah, Jesus.
Trying to remember the topics that you guys went over.
Yeah.
I can go over that. We can go over them real quick. Like very general, like how and why we started streaming, our view of streaming then and now, the general ethics of streaming, and and also we haven't gotten into this yet, but like at some point we can also go over while you guys are here the do's and don'ts of streaming.
All right.
Okay.
I got into streaming because of the pandemic. I had excuse to finally be at home, use whatever I could around me and be like, fuck it. I'm never going to have this time to be in my room for as long as I could be because normally I'd have to commute to work and I didn't want to do that. So I was like, all right, I'm buying a mic. I'm going to find a camera, even if it's a piece of shit, webcam or whatever. I'm just going to go with it. And here I am now.
Yeah, I guess the main reason I got into streams was I used to follow this one guy on Twitch, and he always played Jackbox, and I love playing Jackbox games. And then he quit. He quit streaming because he had some stuff happen in his life, and I'm like, well, I still want to play Jackbox, and I still have all these friends from that community that I was in playing Jackbox with. So we're like, screw it, I'm gonna stream Jackbox, and that's how I just basically started because I was like, I want to play Jackbox more. Basically, that's it.
So for me, I remember I was like leaving a job because I was about to get a new job. Like it seemed like pretty set. You know, I was gonna be you know, driving for like UPS or FedEx. I can't remember which one. They gave me like my audio visual test, like my fitness test. Everything seemed good, and then like all of a sudden they just like completely dropped out on me and didn't like say anything. And I had already quit my other job to be ready
Why
for
wouldn't
this
they
job.
like follow through with you? That's really messed
Jesus
up.
Exactly.
Christ,
Like I kept calling him and I was like, "What's up?" So I'm like, "Dude, I'm like, what do I do?" And I remember my dad like after I had a house fire like a couple years before, and I ended up getting like my streaming equipment back that Christmas. So I was like, "You know what? I'm like my family's off going to a Christmas party. I don't really want to go. So I'm gonna sit at home and I'm gonna stream Smash because none of my friends play Smash anymore, and I really want to play." So I ended up doing it, and it was like really successful off the bat because Ultimate was at like an all-time high, like right off the, you know, this was the year that it came out. So like, you know, it was big, and I was getting random people just joining up, and I'm like, hey, like let's play. And I think that the big thing that like really attributed to how quick I got off the ground was I treated everybody like a friend, like 100%. Like just
But you're not supposed to stream like assholes?
no, exactly. Right. Well, I think that there's this like thing where like
Garnet.
You know, when you're starting on the ground level, people already are like trying to distance themselves from their viewers. But like when you treat people like friends and like you talk with them like friends and like you're just like my whole goal was like I used to have like Smash Fest and all my buddies would come over and we just shoot the shit about like whatever. It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter. We're just playing a game, talking, having fun. And that's exactly how I wanted my stream to be. Like, you know, you want to talk about God knows what that's not even related to the game. Let's talk about it. Let's have a good time. Crack open a cold one, and you know, let's enjoy ourselves because
Smash was good for that.
It really is.
Smash was the perfect storm for stream growth, at least while it was at its peak.
Yeah, I also have to add on to like the reason why I started streaming was because also I met Goff and Cartographer and that one X on Craig's stream, and we were just like talked on Craig's stream like all the time, and we wanted to play games together, and so we started playing games together, and then we realized why don't we just stream us playing games together? So that also was a big part of why I got into it.
Pretty sure that.
Yeah.
What was the next one? I'm trying to play. I can't keep this straight in my head anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, we have our bullet points, but you guys can't see it. Our view of streaming then and now. Yeah, like how we viewed streaming in general before we actually got involved in it.
Same from before and after now. I still view it the same way.
I'd say before I really didn't give a shit about streaming because like I was a huge YouTube aficionado. Like I would literally just go on YouTube for everything. Didn't care about Twitch, Facebook gaming, or whatever the hell else was out there. But a friend of mine, actually, one of my friends from high school, who's a mod on my channel, and the guy who he introduced me to, I think he's a mod or like a VIP. Anyway, he introduced me to him. He's like, "Oh, this guy plays Smash on a regular, and also does other stuff like Animal Crossing, some Apex, whatever." So I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'll check him out." Dude was the chillest guy that I had seen on any streaming platform because like, usually everyone's like, "Let's fucking go! We got this shit!"
Yeah.
But like, he was just like, "Hey, man, I'm just here to have a good time." I'm like, all right, I can vibe with that. So slowly got went to him. His name is Zach, by the way. Got to him, and then one day I was having a nostalgia trip, looking at some old Screw Attack videos. I'm like, I wonder if Stuttering Craig is still around on like Twitch or whatever. I look him up, and yeah, well, he's not under Stuttering Craig. It was under Craig Skits at the time. So I look at him like, oh my god, he's still alive. And like, this community is doing all right. So
that's the exact same way I found Craig again.
For context, Garnet and JonGon and me were part of like the Legends community, which was following Craig Skits, or Stuttering Craig as he was known back in the day. Or as I think he took the name back. It's complicated. It goes back and forth.
John, I think it's hilarious because you had the exact same thought process that went through my head when I found Craig again. I was like, oh, this guy's still alive. Should check him out.
Well, more like alive on the internet. I don't think he died at like, what, 30 or however he would have been back.
He's 40.
He's one of the internet old gods.
Yeah,
I remember watching him, and this is sort of an aside, and we talked about this during like old content creators we liked, but I watched him on the old Game Trailers website back when that had videos to upload.
Yeah, rip that website.
Yeah, I think one of my friends recommended AVGN, and through that I found Screw Attack and the old top 10s, and I was like, oh, dude, like my middle school self is like eating up all this top 10 content because like he was the first one to do it. So, top 10s are done to death these days. And if I ever show any of my friends, like, oh, God, like another person throwing out their opinions. But I'm like, you know what?
I get recommended
he was the first
fucking Watch Mojo video.
He was the first.
Like, you know what? I don't care. Like, he was the first one I saw to do top 10s and to be like, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. He can fucking get away with it. He was the first one to trendset that shit.
He's allowed to. But any other like thoughts on the whole before we move on to the next thing, streaming then and now, or does that pretty much cover it?
I think I already went over mine. Like, I think it's a lot more work than people really consider.
Yes.
On face value, it looks like, streamers just turn on their camera, play games for 3 hours, and then they're done for the day. It's like, that could not be farther from the fucking truth. Like, I'm sorry.
You have to turn on your computer as well.
The game is a little too loud. Okay, I'll turn it down. Now, game's still a little too loud. Okay, now you're too quiet.
I mean,
even better when you have people that your viewers give different opinions. One will say the game's too loud, another say the game's too quiet.
Yep.
I leave it where it is, and I say, suck it up.
Yeah, that or you don't have game audio, and your chat is like, hey, doesn't say a damn thing. That happens.
Normally, I ask my mods. Honestly, though, if I was going to give a real answer, I would ask my mods because I trust their opinions more.
Yeah, I just usually pull.
I just get my phone and like listen to it there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably. I never did that.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I tried listening to my feed, which would cause an echo, but
yeah.
All right. Well, anyway.
Last thing I was going to say is before moving on to the next topic of streaming now. Someone mentioned earlier, streamers just turning on your camera and playing games. You could absolutely do that, but you ain't going.
It wouldn't be good.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And you'd be like, oh, good, another.
No, it would work. It would work. It's called you just gotta be attractive.
I saw someone start streaming from their phone, and they would point their phone towards the TV and play games, and it was so unwatchable.
I see a lot of speedruns do that.
That's awesome.
Actually,
that's awesome.
Ye old camcorder let's plays for those who were around.
That was before capture cards were a thing.
Oh, I want to get a VHS camera now.
The first capture card is
replicate GK's old.
I had a Dazzle. Does anybody even know what a Dazzle is?
No.
Oh God, yeah, Dazzle, Hauppauge. Those are like the big two brands at the time.
Yeah, I had a Dazzle capture card. It took AVI inputs, and I would record my YouTube Let's Plays with that. In a Rock Band microphone, just like
what was AV's 480? Is AV 480
that one
or something?
Still uses a Rock Band microphone.
Dude, that's
wait, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound as bad as I thought it would.
No, it doesn't. Sound great.
All right. Well, so getting into the somewhat of a controversial and subjective topic of ethics of streaming, and that can go many different directions. What are your guys' takes on that?
The streamers are right. Don't ever question them.
JonGon, you're wrong.
Based opinion.
You're a streamer too. Fuck. All right, we beat you in the past.
So like in what I know you guys glossed over like multiple things when you talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
With the donations, I remember I was gonna say something like, I was gonna say I don't think that there's a problem with having a sub goal up if it's for if it doesn't have a purpose, as long as the streamer doesn't like mention it or talk about it, or because I think it
Constantly.
can serve as like a gentle reminder that like this is where you're trying to be. But like if you actually have a goal, then you can like talk about it and be like, we're this far from the goal where I'm going to do this,
Yeah.
but don't promote it like unless there's like an actual reason for it. But I
Yeah,
think
like
that the reminder's okay.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I
at
have a
least
dono goal
nowadays.
for
Yeah,
I have dono goals constantly, and it's what decides if I stream on Fridays at all. And so if
Okay,
if they reach the dono goal, then I'm like, hey, this is what y'all are donating towards. I will stream on Friday, and I will do this idea that I have as my donation goal.
yeah. At least
Yeah, you
that's
give
going
back. You give
towards
them an
something.
incentive, like to know if it's worth your while to continue. If enough people are interested, to do that extra like vanity stream.
I just remember because like I was very reluctant to put up a sub goal when I first got affiliate, because I got affiliate I think it was like the first week that I started streaming, and then because I already had the follower goal set like from when I streamed in the past, but they just didn't allow you to get affiliate at that time, and I was reluctant to put up my sub goal for I think like the first like week or so, and I remember that like the second that I did, a lot of people subscribed. Like I think that people didn't really think about it until it was on the screen. Like I don't know. Like it just served as like a reminder that this is something that you can do. And I definitely tried to like incentivize. Like I was very heavily like grinding out emotes. Like I paid so much money
Yeah, some
to
good
make sure
ones.
that I got. Yeah, I was like, dude, but you didn't see how many throwaways I had where I was like, I don't like this one, I don't like this one, I don't like this one. Like I made sure, because I was like, they're paying $5 or more if it with the higher tiers. Although I
Yeah.
don't think that Twitch
Yeah,
incentivize higher
rarely
tiers
anyone
enough.
subscribes
No,
at
they
tier 2
No.
or tier 3. It's mostly
Right.
tier 1.
Pointless. I like
Yeah.
the YouTube approach where you can actually set your own prices.
Yes. That yeah, because you can set like a 99-cent tier, like a $4.99,
$100
like
tier.
maybe a $9.99 tier.
No, that would be huge.
Yeah, that would be
huge.
huge for
I
Twitch,
also
yeah.
think that Twitch like completely gyps you on tier 2 and tier 3 subs. Like not to be at Twitch, but I don't think that they deserve half of a tier 3 sub. Like that money's
Become
going
partner.
to support the
Yeah,
creator.
like affiliates get fucked on that. Like if you're a partner, you get. I'm
the
pretty
funny
sure it's
thing
like
about
a 70-30.
this, I heard, I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but I've heard that partners actually get a higher percentage back for the higher tiers.
That's what I've heard too.
They
That's
do.
what I've heard too. Yeah, it's
Which
like
it's- but it's hard to
50-50 still
Well, there
justify
are
for
that.
some
tier 1.
compromises aside from
It's
just the
like
financial
I believe it's
so.
50-50 still for tier 1, 60-40 for tier 2 subs, and then 70-30 for tier 3 for the partners.
And they
At
do
least
take
that's what I've
Afghan.
heard.
You get
With the
250
bigger
per
numbers
sub for
obviously going
affiliates.
to the
Which is why direct
partners.
donation.
Negotiate it too, depending on how big of a streamer you are.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can even negotiate higher.
Yeah, negotiate. Hey, I'm worth more than that.
Right.
I'm worth the
but
whole net worth of Jeff Bezos, and you can never question that.
But yeah, Dan, they take half for affiliates. Yeah, even at tier 3, they take 50% for.
You got to
affiliates,
give
yeah.
a little bit of respect for YouTube that they're starting at 70-30 across the board.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, I
I
wish
mean they got to stay competitive somehow.
I
Yeah.
wish OBS or Streamlabs or some other program out there would just let you multi-stream at once. Because if you can stream to every platform out there, obviously it's
they
killing your
have
computer. But
they
if you
have
could,
applications
Restream
like
is what
that.
you're thinking
Yeah,
about.
they have extensions you can add
But
to
the
swaps.
the problem is that when you sign your affiliate contract with Twitch, you sign away your live content for 24
Exclusivity.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have it for the first 24 hours, and then you can put
They
it
can't even
somewhere else
simulstream.
after that. Yeah,
you can't multi-stream
Yeah.
unless
you're
you
a
become
partner,
a
you
partner.
can negotiate
you can
it
remove
as a
that.
partner.
Yeah, if you become a partner, you can negotiate that out. But being a partner, that's like a really high threshold. Like 75 average, and it's just it's legit. Like, that's not the point where it's actually job level.
Just when you turn from regular Twitch view to affiliate, just be like, all right, everyone, I'm gonna DM you. There's gonna be a set date. Watch me then, and we're good. And
No, it has to be for a whole
a
month.
lot of
Average for a month.
Just fuck off.
It's
A lot
average
of
for a
stream
month.
coaches-
You can't do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can't cheese it.
yeah, I know it's average for a month. But
Oh
like,
no,
but-
just
be like,
pay.
all right,
Just
for this
pay
whole
like
month, put me in the background or whatever.
just pay for the views. You know,
Oh,
you can just easily
man.
do that.
Oh.
But
Just how
I
people
know
pay
a
for
lot of-
Instagram likes.
Oh man. But a lot of stream coaches, they end up recommending not to fill out your affiliate stuff immediately and just doing restream until you gain a big enough audience. Like, like you're averaging like, around 10 viewers on like each platform or so, and then going the route of affiliate and trying to pull them from the other platforms that you've been able to branch out to. But I don't know how effective that is because I didn't do it. So
Yeah, I have no comment there.
Yeah. No.
It sounds like a cool idea, but I mean, I'm also lazy, and that sounds like work.
yeah, imagine
know
having
that
all
feeling,
those
too.
tabs open, all those chats to moderate.
Jesus.
I
We-
have
we
to
all-
get
we all
more
know
RAM
that
for my
feeling,
computer.
Gregory.
That's too much. That's too many Google Chrome tabs.
Oh god, yeah. Chrome is like Pac-Man, gobbling up all your RAM.
Just
Ugh.
download more RAM. Totally legit.
Hell yeah, dude.
RAM, Christ.
I like that now that we have 3D printers, I can actually download a car.
When
they said, like, those
those
commercials.
Piracy ads, like you wouldn't download a car, would you? Yeah, now I can download a car. Yeah. So what of it?
It won't run, but I'm downloading it, so get that.
All right. Well,
Otherwise, I don't think I have any more ethics stuff. Just
You don't have ethics?
I don't have ethics in general, so
Who needs a moral compass these days?
all I do is I just don't bite the hand that feeds me. That's basically my own my morality.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hmm.
To a degree. Yeah. That's
All right. Any other
It's
final thoughts before we
$5,
go through
guys.
do's and
It's
don'ts?
$5.
Don't be an asshole viewer and try to follow your compasses as a streamer, like to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
I would say
for
that
me,
those are the two.
yeah, and these do's and don'ts will probably be more general. For me, I have a couple. I'm going to go through them pretty quick. Do understand that you will play shittier while streaming.
It depends. It
Yeah,
depends.
yeah.
Sometimes
you
you
ta-
pull
no,
off
bullshit.
some of
I
the
call
greatest
bullshit on
shit
that.
How
I've
much
ever done in
how
gaming
much
on
you
a stream.
interact with chat though, like you sacrifice like more interactivity with chat, like your skill goes down, you ignore the chat for a bit, your skill goes up. All right, another point.
I don't know, for Jackbox, I think Garnet would disagree.
Well,
with
no.
that. Like,
I mean,
yeah,
that- you-
inspiration.
I get
But,
way
like,
better.
That's not
when
like
I'm
a skill
streaming.
game.
Oh, well,
It's for skill-based
That's more
games.
Jackbox,
Uh,
or Bayfax.
All right,
Like,
another
I
thing.
wouldn't necessarily say that's always the case. You don't always
Yeah.
play shittier, but like it
Yeah,
generally does
this-
happen. It does
It's because you
happen,
play a
not all the
technical fighting game, GK. That's why you get worse.
Yeah,
Well, you're
yeah,
dividing
it's
your
hard that way.
attention. You're
Yeah,
dividing
Mario
Yeah.
like
Party,
it's not like
greatest
you're gonna
fighting
be
game
able to
of all
play
time.
better dividing your attention. I don't know how that would work.
Oh.
My
So
neurons are
another
activated,
like this
they
sort of ties
multitask.
in. Do acknowledge chat as much as possible, even if you have to play like shit, and that sort of ties
Yes.
into it. The more you
Yes,
talk,
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed.
Don't.
So,
yeah, what?
were you gonna go through all of them, or are we gonna like address each of them as we go?
I was gonna go through them all like real quick.
yeah.
So don't get tied into a schedule. Schedules are fine. They're fine if you have like a consistent schedule, so people can find like to know when you're gonna stream. But if you're like really not in the mood, like it's gonna show in the stream. So don't stream because you feel obligated to.
Can I counterpoint that real fast? Say
Yeah.
yes, have a schedule, but don't feel guilty if you need to take a mental health
Yes,
break.
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
better
yeah.
way to put it. That's a better way to put it. Yeah.
'Cause I've done that so many times.
Keep in mind the stigma when you bring up your streamer to the IRL people.
Wait, how
don't-
introverted are you when you call them IRL people?
I mean, IRL people is an obsolete thing now. All
No
right,
one meets in real life. We're in the
don't-
pandemic. We don't.
don't buy a game just to stream it, because that doesn't work out a lot of times. Don't
about Elden
cut
Ring.
ties or don't cut ties with someone or block someone out just because you had some kind of disagreement. It's like that us versus them mentality I learned with dealing with that one a-hole who wanted everything to be an us versus them, and like this guy, we disagreed on this person we banned. Like, you shouldn't associate with them. It's like I don't care. Like, that was your beef, not mine.
That's
So that
actually how
was
we
like-
met GK.
Yeah, that's how we met. Oh my god. All right, so those were my do's and don'ts. If any of you have any like to comment on any of those before we like get the rest of you?
I think the acknowledging chat as much as possible thing, I agree with that to an extent, but I also think that there shouldn't be like a complete dependency on chat as far as content is produced, because if you're also trying to make YouTube videos out of your stream, which is, you know, an option that a lot of people do, and even like Bloodwood recommends that. If it's just such like a solid split on only the chat and not the content, then you wind up sacrificing entertainment value for like, you know, other platforms as well, which can also give you more exposure, you know?
And if you're also going that route of using your stream as a video, like you also realize that like, oh, some stuff out of context from the chat wouldn't translate well into a VOD because they have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's where
there's
clever
definitely a
editing comes in,
dichotomy
though.
there.
I don't know. My other thing is that do realize that you're probably, even when you're talking about the chat, do realize you're probably gonna miss some messages and people, and don't take it personal if you're a viewer and they miss you.
Yeah,
it happens. It happens.
I'm guilty of missing a lot in this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, you asshole.
I guess like the way that I think about it is like it's weird, but like I think your viewer level matters to this question, like this do and don't, because like, you know, you can constantly talk with your chat, like, and you know it'll definitely help retention. But once you get to a certain point, there's a certain point where you're just not going to be able to talk to chat anymore. And if you get to that point and you don't have like the fundamentals of like making entertaining content already, you're just gonna like fall flat on your face. I feel like, you know, because there's a threshold where you need to carry yourself. You can't just talk to chat, even though like you want to. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, it's the idea of standing up on your own 2 feet as far as entertainment goes, you know?
Yeah.
But then how am I sitting in my gamer chair if I'm standing up? My gamer chair makes me better at video gaming and Twitch streaming.
All right, Garnet. You want to be a gamer? You stand on a Wii balance board. There's your gaming
dude. H-bots.
That's
If someone wants to donate one of those to me, sure, I'll get a. I'll stand on a balance board for an entire week.
The schedule thing you bring up is also interesting too. I've flip-flopped between like having one, being like super dedicated to it, and kind of just opting to like not have one. I do think there is something to be said for having a healthy middle ground, for having a like a role that lets people know when you go live, because like I don't know, I think a lot of people stress the schedule when in reality it does help as far as getting people to know when you're live. But if it's adding to your stress, then you know, is it really worth it when you can find ways to make compromises to still create without feeling, you know, like a work obligation? I personally don't like scheduling my leisure time because it feels like an obligation rather than like something spontaneous and fun. So
yeah. So go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Well, for me personally, I need a schedule for certain things, or I'll forget to do them. And like, because currently, right now, in my point in life, like the time I have streaming generally is like my gaming time. My only gaming time, because like, you know, life and all that stuff. It doesn't work for everybody, but a schedule has done me like a world of wonder.
Yeah, I basically have to have a schedule because I'm a very scheduled person just in my normal day-to-day life. So it just seems odd to not have a schedule for myself. And it helps with my own consistency as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so for me, I have more of an unspoken schedule. Like I used to have one on both my Twitch, and I'd say it from time to time in my Discord, be like, I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays after work, like at 6, 7 p.m. Pacific time, whatever. But obviously, as life happens, you know, suddenly I'm called to like, you know, watch over my niece, or a friend has something going on, or we're just going to get dinner with my family, whatever. And then I'm just like, well, sure, I can't stream on those days. So like at a certain point, I'm like, all right, you guys know that I'll try to stream on these 2 days, but like if shit happens, like I'll let you know. And if it's bad, like I'll be like,
yeah, which is like, basically the only reason why I have Discord is so I can update people on my schedule. That's the main reason for my Discord.
I mean, some people mute the pings though, and that's rough. Like, you know, it's definitely hard. Yeah, but like, it is on them.
But like, I get it. Sometimes you're in a lot of servers and like you just don't want to deal with a billion pings. And like I know even one of my closest friends mutes a lot of shit because they have to focus on work or whatever. And I'm like, that's all good. Like, don't worry about it.
One thing I was gonna say
is mute the servers. I definitely have GK's and JonGon servers muted. Why the hell do I want their pings?
I think a good compromise as far as pings go is having an opt-into role rather than just an add everyone, because that way it ensures that you get the people who are genuinely interested in still watching your content without annoying the entirety of the server that you're
That's
going
fair.
live.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
can do that, but
fair,
like
yeah.
there are some big channels that are just like fuck it, add everyone out here. If you don't want to watch in or be opted in, you can mute. It's fine.
Yeah,
Like as long as they
big
acknowledge us,
things
like
you should add everyone for.
Oh, and a minor thing in terms of like the ethics, like at least from a viewer perspective, I remember there was this one fucking guy. He joined a couple Discords, and every time there was a ping, like an add everyone, he would flip out in the generals, like, well, I'm sick of all these.
Oh, I know.
Ping, exactly. And then he would leave, and then another Discord he would do the same thing. It's like this guy was probably never on Discord before, or never on like bigger communities. So it's like really annoying. He did this several times, and it, God.
Go ahead, Frank.
Well, what I was gonna say is I think not having a schedule can definitely work. Like it's not like make a schedule or you're gonna not succeed like a lot of high level streamers say. But I think you have to find another outlet to get that information of when you're live to your audience, because like you need to find, like, whether it's Twitter, whether it's just your go live notification. Honestly, for Smash, people would see me get on Smash like on my Switch, and they would know that I was going to go live. So they would get ready.
So let me tell you about that too. So just recently, I got a new follower who, like, a day after watching my content, was like, "Dude, I'm a huge fan of yours. Like, I love your content and all that." And from time to time, like, whenever I'm streaming, he'll hop and be like, "Oh, I started playing like Smash or Mario Kart over. Like, are you gonna play right now?" I'm like, "No, I'm playing this other game. Like, that'll come later." But tying back into that guy. So on the subject of talking about like sub goals and all that, I never had a sub goal until just a few weeks ago, because that same person in his Joy or whatever decided, fuck it, I'm gonna make fan art of you. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how to react to this, because like, how would you react if someone's like, I'm gonna make art of you? I'm like, okay, go for it. So he drew me in a very simple style, but he accidentally made my hair super blonde, and I was playing with my friends at the time, and I was like, hey, y'all want to see me with blonde hair? And they're like, what? So I showed them the photo, and they're like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. You should make a sub goal out of that. And I'm like, is it time for me to chill now? And they're like, yeah, just make it an unrealistic number. And I'm like, okay, fuck it, 50 sub goals, and I'll dye my hair blonde just in honor of my first ever fan art.
That's fantastic.
Well, you all heard it.
Yep.
That must include your facial hair too, all of it.
Oh, I can God! I didn't say I have to dye this hair blonde.
Oh, no, you have to.
Bald.
I mean, if I still have my facial hair by the time it reaches up, I'll probably dye it blonde. I mean, I have the luxury of not having a video call anyone at work, so no one has to see what I look like except for stream.
Oh, watch that be a rule change like the day after you do it.
That would just be poor.
No, my parent company might try to do that, but our base company would be like, you don't have to video call. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, any other who didn't do general do's and don'ts yet? Do's and don'ts yet?
Well, you were the only one who did it so far, GK.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Just losing track of myself. Sorry. I guess Lee. Like any other like.
I got a lot. Hopefully some of these will be some good discussion points once I get through them. So do's. Do treat it as a creative outlet. 2, do put in an active effort, not just on like the Twitch side, but also for like your own self-development and your own entertainment skills. Best example I have for that is Charisma on Command, because that wound up helping me quite a bit for that. Do be flexible and know when to change things if they make you unhappy, because complacency kind of a scary thing, especially in the content creation field with stagnating what you're doing. Do you recognize that it's meant to be for fun and a reprieve? Some people take it like way too seriously, and it just makes me uncomfortable seeing people get discouraged over the analytics. Another do is work on leadership and communication skills, because I think a lot of people underestimate how unbelievably helpful those are, especially in like the Discord space, because you are your own leader.
Communication is key, everybody. That's how you succeed in life. Just literally talk it out. That's all.
No, I'm the main character in a rom-com, and now that whole hour and a half movie about one reason of me not saying
Garnet,
one word.
Your life is a movie, and you're the star. Take a shot every time you hear that damn speech.
No, but I agree with you, Lee, because like it's kind of like people don't realize what a leader role that you play, because you're constantly trying to get people for like events and like trying to get people excited. You're trying to like drive your community in like a certain way, and you have to like essentially make that enticing to people, and just being able to like motivate people to like form a community like around you. I guess it's definitely underestimated on like how much you need that skill in this area.
Yeah, for sure. And it even boils down to the idea of like being able to motivate and inspire others as well. Because like I think a lot of people really don't realize how much of an impact content creation can just have, like a very, very tangible impact on people's lives. And some of the best examples I've had for this are having like a lot of friends who are very like shy or introverted and don't really speak. But after having interacted with them like a lot within the content creation sphere, whether it just be through like acknowledging through them through chat, or just spending time with them in a voice call and just playing games and, you know, having fun like that, that can really make someone's life just so much better. And I think that alone is like one of the best rewards that you can get out of
Super
that.
fulfilling. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those are kind of my dues. And if I can repeat any of these if need be after I go through like the don'ts and all that. So I might get a little flack for this one. One of my biggest don'ts. This drives me crazy. I love Discord. I think it's an awesome platform. But hold on 1 second. What's up? Sorry, I got someone at the house.
The anticipation is killing me.
A little louder for the audience.
He was like, "This is
He did this on purpose.
This is gonna be my most controversial post on Twitter.
Everybody's like titillated now.
Well,
Like,
I guess I don't have any to titillate.
I guess Byron.
He just got canceled IRL.
He just got canceled.
Oh God, Twitter found him.
I guess, you know, Byron, I guess, well, I don't know how long Lee's got his thing going, but
okay, I have one. Stream games you enjoy. Stream games you enjoy playing.
Tell my wife to stop playing Mario Kart on stream every Monday.
But does she enjoy it?
She loves it. She's playing right now. But
sorry,
I'm just like,
she's kind of hijacked your stream then.
yeah, like definitely if you stream a game just for like the trendiness of it and you clearly are not into it, it's like gonna like show, and it's you know what, there was
like repeated games though, right? Like a game that you continually play, not like a one-off where it's like, oh, the new Pokemon came out, here's like I guess I'm gonna play that because
I guess,
you know,
a one-off is fine if you want to feel how it is.
Like if you really do enjoy like that series and like a new game comes out, then cool. That's a fucking hype event for everybody. Hey,
well, honestly, what I was more considered like, or what I considered more is like when a new Nintendo game came out, I was like, I might not be super into it, but I know people want to see me play it, and
yeah,
you know, I'm willing to. I'm willing to like go into it and try it out.
That's fair.
For everybody else's sake.
That's
and just
fair.
Be like,
you know what?
They want my thoughts.
Yeah, there's times where that's fine, I think.
Yeah, but I guess that makes sense.
Part,
but
stream games you enjoy playing. For the
man, you know,
but
if Blockbuster. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if Lee was about to bring one up before, you know.
But you can go ahead, John, and then I'll carry on.
For the topic of playing games that are, you know, starting to trend and you're not totally committed, if something like Blockbuster or what is it, GameFly or whatever it is, that you can just rent the game and try it for the if that was just something we did more, which I should probably do more if I get the inclination.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, just rent the game out, throw it on stream. Like, all right.
Yeah,
I was buying every single game that came out. I
was like, oh, it's just $50, $60 or whatever.
Well, GameFly is still around, so.
Yeah, but like, there's not a lot of GameFlies everywhere. Like, Blockbuster used to be fucking everywhere. In fact, I used to live a block away from a Blockbuster, which was a fucking kid's dream come true.
Imagine being a streamer in a time where like Blockbuster was like popping.
Oh my god, that was
holy shit.
There's some alternate universe out there where Blockbuster's still fucking kicking.
Yep.
There's one Blockbuster.
Like Walmart.
I mean, you could just be an asshole and buy the game off of Steam and then refund it before the 2 hours are up.
Yeah, the 2-hour refund.
Yeah, it's a short stream. Short stream.
Yeah.
No, you just buy multiple games. You just buy like 3 games and be like, and just like refund them at the end of every 2 hours.
You gotta keep an eye on that time.
14-day limit.
There's a whole YouTube video of someone who streamed. What was it? I think Sonic Forces.
Yeah,
and he beat
I know the guy. Yep.
Yeah, Ouija. Yeah. And someone tried to put a hate article, be like, "Oh, this scumbag is just getting views by renting a game and, you know, refunding it. It's like, why the fuck do you care? Like, it's my game. If I want to return it, I can do what the hell I want with it.
Right.
And
No,
These are
it
some
was
of my
not- was
favorite
bad. Like, it was
speedruns.
fun.
And to be
The game
fair,
sucked.
I would understand if someone played Sonic Forces and wanted to refund it because it wasn't good.
Sonic Forces, like
If you refund Sonic Mania, we might have to talk. but-
yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
streaming
yeah.
is
Sonic 06,
already like
Sonic
super
06,
expensive.
That is the best game I've ever played.
I didn't play it like just on my own.
Sonic
Like
06.
I have it on my Steam library. I just gotta download it. But anyway, GK, continue. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh yeah, so as far as don'ts go, the first one, this is my biggest pet peeve because I used to be in like a million Discord servers that are just never maintained. I am under the impression that not every person / streamer needs to make their own Discord server. So I would say don't make a server unless you plan to actively maintain it, because nothing sucks more than being in a dead server that you've been in for like 2 or 3 months that there's just no reason to talk. Nobody's like going in there for voice, or no one's just interacting with one another. It just, I don't know. How many servers are you guys in, for example?
Too many.
At least like 2
A
dozen or
lot.
something. So
10?
So here's
Only
the thing
10?
with
I
my
got 6 folders.
Yeah.
I got
You're so
6
lucky.
folders.
Discord.
I got
Let me-
6
I don't
folders
really like
full.
it.
2, 3, 4,
1,
5,
2,
6,
3.
7, 8, 9, 10 folders. So
I'm
all right.
probably close to 50.
Yeah,
I
9
think.
total
I used to be in
servers.
48. Now I'm at like 24. I'm basically like removing the needle from me.
Yeah.
So the thing with me in Discord is that, with my Discord specifically, most of my friends are never online. They do their own shit. So whenever I put something on there, I'm like, you don't have to react with this. I don't need that, dopamine rush of, oh, someone interacted with my content or my comment. I invalidated, I just throw whatever out there. If you react or talk about it, cool. If not, whatever, that's fine. And for the other servers I'm in, be it GKs or Garnets, which I should leave Garnets, by the way, after that last comment.
Don't worry, I beat you to it. I already left yours and banned you.
You bastard. Yeah, but like with other Discords, like I'll read up on it, and I don't try to force an interaction on all of them, because like you'll be able to read them and be like, this is kind of a disingenuous, like I'm just plugging my name out there so I'm in your mind, Like if I can react to something or talk about it, cool. If not, oh well.
Can I tag on to about like the no Discord thing? But like whenever I do get in a new Discord, I always get super overwhelmed with how many channels people have. It's like
Yes!
make
Yeah,
your
I
Discord
try
simpler.
It's
not
the
to have
worst.
If you
Try
do
to
have
make
a
it-
good
I try
Discord,
not
make
to
it simpler.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
I have a
JonGon,
lot, but
what are
simplicity
you
is
doing
key, I
on your
think.
Discord server?
Hey man, some people
I
might
think
just
you have, I
only
think
be
you have
in it for
100
whatever.
channels.
God.
You know what you could do? You could click that little arrow by the category and just close it. There you go. Now it's so much simpler.
For reference, I have 4 channels in mine.
GK's I would say is a good size personally.
I had a lot. Mine is, I guess mine's like comparable to GK's.
Mine's like smaller than G.
Oh no, it's not.
I just
no, it's
refuse
not.
to like join Discord servers in general, because most of the time they do end up, it just ends up being filler crap and people talking that I just have no I have no
Overly
care
specific
about.
stuff. Yeah, overly,
Yeah.
especially now with the addition of threads that Discord have, you can sort of
Yeah, just
possibly
make it simpler.
See, you think
Yeah.
people would
Think
use
about what
threads,
you're
but,
trying to
like,
get out of it,
Yeah.
and then gear it towards that.
Like you think people would use threads more, but like every server I'm in, like almost no one uses them, and I'm like, why not?
I've
Like,
been in a
if you
few
have
servers
side
that
hustle,
actually
go for
have
it.
like threads. Like they'll have like for example, they'll have a video game thread, and then they have like genres. This is like a really, really big community, and they have like different like video game text channel, and then threads of different genres, like shooters, RPGs. That's how they separate it a little bit. So instead of having like different text channels, it's one text channel with different threads.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm
another one of
looking
my
at.
pet peeves is about
Okay.
on Discord is all those Discord servers that every single one has a fucking meme channel, and I'm like, I have Reddit too,
Yeah.
guys. I don't need memes on Discord. 'Cause I have a Reddit.
I mean, I feel like
I
it's
mean-
just like stuff I find particularly amusing. I like to put in there, or relevant.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's generally what I do in mine.
Yeah,
I
like, there's
actually
some
have
people
an
who-
interest. Go
Okay.
ahead.
No, you go, Frag.
I was gonna say, I wish I didn't have a meme channel, because that is like one of the like channels that I've had the most fucking trouble with when managing a Discord server, because people just don't know what's acceptable and what's not,
Ooh.
where the line is, and it's hard to like draw it out for them. So
So-
like you end up getting into these interactions like, why'd you remove everything? And it's like, because this is just not acceptable, dude. Like, oh my god.
So let me tell
was-
you. Let me tell you a little story. So there's this YouTuber by the name of Desbug. So he used to have like a really organized Discord server, like back in 2018 to 2020, something like that. And then because, it was a lot for him and his mod team to manage, which there was drama with that apparently, he shut it down and was like, I'm just going to leave this. So sorry, y'all. Only to make a new one later when he was like, I want to make content for the fans. So I'm just going to make a meme channel and y'all go ham on that. But here's the thing. So with his channel, he had one channel for rules, which was like, essentially, I'm not going to moderate shit because I don't have time for it. Don't be an asshole. If you don't like what you see, just leave. Which, let me tell you what happened.
Open the floodgates.
It opened every floodgate. Like, if you could think of every degenerate, vulgar NSFW content out there, the meme channel initially started with, actual memes and some inside jokes. But then, like, 2 people in particular, they literally flooded the entire channel with all kinds of content that would make you want to gouge out your eyes and your soul.
They're just spamming
so many
shit.
people are like, what the fuck am I looking? Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people.
Like the Hoover Dam has been unleashed.
Oh, this is beyond the Hoover Dam. This is like if the Earth was like cracked open and all the water in the ocean just like poured down from that. It was absolutely fucking unreal. I mean, I stayed in it because I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna like wait until like the one mod who was the girlfriend of the YouTuber like actually stepped in and was like, if I see one more of this shit, I am going on a ban hunt. And then they all stopped. Like, it's fine now, but like when it first started, I think the server had like a couple thousand people join in on like the first 2 hours alone. So all those poor souls had to see some
Dude, moderating 300 people's already impossible. I can only imagine 2,000. Like,
God. Like I've joked with my friends like, hey, how much would I have to pay you guys to be a mod? And they were like, what do
not
you mean?
enough.
Like, okay, yeah, not enough. I'm like, okay, so like on a smaller channel, it should be pretty easy. Most people are chill and not going to be a head ass. But on a big YouTube channel or a Twitch channel, like Voice Critical or whatever, like you gotta deal with that kind of shit. Like, how much you have to pay for that? That's like, oh, never mind, not enough. Not if that is how big the channel is and how fucking degenerate these goddamn users are.
Because you have to see some awful shit.
Yeah.
You're basically working 24 hours a day, like moderating. Even when you're sleeping.
Yeah, God, as a Discord mod, I've seen some shit. I've seen someone try to dox another person. Like, fucking Christ. Like, I've seen some shit.
We're starting to like just get slightly longer than I expected. But like the do's and don'ts though, Byron, did you share any of yours yet or no?
I have a don't. Don't stream every fucking day for like 8 to 12 hours a day. That's just a waste of time.
Unless you're
YouTube instead.
Yeah, you like spending time to make YouTube. Like, if you stream too frequently, it'll make like
are just like you want to live life.
Well, here's the only counter argument to that. You can do the 8-12-hour streams if you A, are big, B, have a team of mods, and C, have a team of editors that can take your streams and just pump all the content out there. Otherwise,
what about D? What if you actually just enjoy streaming for 8 to 12 hours a day and that's what you like doing?
I still think that's too long, even if it's something you enjoy.
I really think that's just not going to help you succeed long term because, like, I was doing streams that were like longer, like 6 hours, 8 hours, something like that for a long time. And what I noticed was like eventually like my numbers, like they stagnated. And I was like, dude, what am I doing wrong? Like I'm streaming constantly. I'm like doing all this stuff that I think is right. Like what is the problem? And then I was like, the problem is that I'm allowing everybody else to view my content when they want. I want them to like go out of their way and like be like, oh, he's live at this time, and then they'll all show up at that
it'll
time.
focus it
because then your numbers are like pumped up way higher.
I've read this was a thing with YouTube, and their analytics might have changed, but they said that if you upload very frequently, try to upload half as much to see if you get more viewers per video, because if you view too much, people will be more likely to skip it, and if you probably stream too much, you'll be more likely seeing, oh, he's live, I'll just watch him tomorrow. But if you only stream like maybe like a few days, like every like maybe 2-3 days a week, it's like if I miss it, like the stream, I'm not gonna like I'll have to wait like 2 days or 3 days,
And I'd say like that's the beauty of YouTube. On Twitch, you're bound to a time just like any other TV show. So if people show up, that's cool. They're available. If not, sucks to suck. You don't get the viewers. But on YouTube, once you upload it, they can watch whatever the fuck they want. They can watch it right as it premieres. They can watch it at like 2 a.m. when they're done gaming.
They can watch it when they want, where they want.
Yep.
On
whatever device
they
want.
want. Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with just streaming for like 8 hours, just in general, like one, I think it's too long for like the streamer and the viewer, because realistically, from what I've experienced, I think like 3 hours is kind of like the G spot as far as streaming goes, because it's like enough for people.
Oh, that's a phrase.
Yeah,
I tend to approach
I
5
think
myself.
That's the sweet spot.
You think 5?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can barely go. I think like 4.5 is usually my max. Like 4.5 would be hard cap, but normally it's usually 3 hours.
Yeah, and it's also the idea of like, if you're streaming for 8 hours, how many of those hours are genuinely entertaining, and how much of it is filler? You know, like, are you making like quality content that's shorter is going to be a lot better.
At some point, like you get like
into a better
fatigued,
video.
and you just like stop interacting as like you know.
I would also say that like a good question to ask yourself if you're streaming 8 hours is how many viewers are actually there for all of 8 hours of your stream,
like, or even what's your
there and
goal for
present.
doing that.
Right.
I think also, I guess some Twitch streamers might have that YouTube mentality of like, oh, more time means more viewers or whatever, because YouTube so heavily pushed on the whole, you have 10 minutes of a video, you can get ad revenue or whatever. So I think people like might skew that mindset into Twitch and be like, I gotta stay on here as long as I can.
Well, that changed recently to be like 8 minutes now instead of 10.
It's the point being that like there's still the mindset of like,
I get the point.
Yeah, like you gotta be on there for a certain amount of time, otherwise you're never gonna make it.
I think there's just better uses of your time if you're trying to be successful on Twitch. Like there's so many things that aren't related to streaming. Like, you know, stream for 3 hours, spend a couple hours like hanging out in other community members' chats, spend like another hour planning your stream for tomorrow and what you're going to do to make that stream even better. You know, think about other, you know, just avenues for getting people to your stream. Like there's so many other things that you could be doing than just sitting there playing a game.
3 hours spent script writing can even be super helpful too, because if you are able to make like a valuable piece of content that works for you when you're offline, you're effectively doing like 10 streams at like the cost of one, you know, as far as like exposure.
Anyone here who's ever written a script for a YouTube video, raise your hand when you tried like a speech to texting and then reading at it, you realized, wow, this sounds really fucking awkward.
Never bothered with text to speech for that.
I can't. I feel like when I write, like when I type it out, I get ahead of myself and I can't type it fast enough. I do the voice to text and I try to clean it up. But then there's a difference between the spoken word, the written word, and what should be presented on YouTube. Especially like if you do a video essay, it should be probably a little more formal, like more written word. Or if you're doing like a skitsy kind of thing, it should be more spoken word. And you know, keep that in mind.
Yeah, tone is important for sure.
Yeah,
or even if you're not trying to expand your stream, like there are better uses of that time than just grinding out for like 8 hours or something. Like you could live life.
Yeah.
What?
Like even if growth isn't part of the equation, just like making other forms of content is just inherently fun because it's a new way to express yourself. You know,
this is my life, bro. What are you talking about? I don't exist. What's the
I really think that Byron like has a good point. Like, you know, I know you're messing around, but that's a good thing to touch on is that like mental health is huge because you can get just like this happened to me. I had like horrible like, you know, anxiety and stress when it came to like everything because I felt like I was just like forced into like making like my Twitch venture successful, and I just didn't take opportunities to breathe. So like when I would like end up canceling stream and like I would feel horrible about it, even though I probably shouldn't have, as we mentioned earlier, but it was just such a breath of fresh air. Like after I got over that, I was just like, oh my God, like I don't have to do something for like the next couple of hours and I can be me. And that's going to make me a better entertainer because I'm going to be in a better mood. I'm going to have more things to talk about. You know, like there's a certain, you know, if you're streaming 8 hours a day, eventually you run out of things to talk about if you're not living your actual life. You know?
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. What people don't realize for streamers, when the stream goes off, we just stare at the computer waiting for the next time to stream, and that's all the streaming
We're
does.
robots, dude.
But that brings up a point that I wanted to ask y'all. How would you say your personality differs from being on stream versus being off stream?
Honestly, okay, so on and off stream, so it depends. Like around my family or around like people that I meet at work, like my family, they know who I am. I'm still the screaming, you know, loud asshole that loves to make jabs and jokes, but you know, still actually will listen to some serious shit. At work, I'm definitely not the same person. Like, I'm not.
Why not?
Because I get fired if I was. But like at work, like with my boss, like I can have some good banter with him and my other coworkers. But the people that we have to work with for our client and vendor side, like I got to put on my own professional. Like, hi, this is Jonathan from Blank Company. How can I help you? Or like, what seems to be the issue? That
Also
very
follow my stream.
cordial customer service. Oh, you have no idea. Like, there are some things at work where I'm just like, oh, you like YouTube and Twitch? Man, I sure would like to plug you, but I'd feel like a bit of a shilling dick if I did that.
Yeah.
But back to the topic of like on-stream versus off-stream personality. Like around my friends, I'm essentially the same as I am on stream. Like we'll talk, we'll have a good time, we'll make some inside jokes. I'll be the victim of most of them or all of them, but I take it in stride. So
yeah,
honestly, like again, it depends on the crowd. With the good crowd, I'm the same on stream and off stream.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think like for me, because like I know like it's commonplace to say like you're the same person on stream and off stream, like John just said. But I will say that there definitely is something that changes a little bit. Like it's not that my personality changes per se, but I think the amplitude is just cranked up a bit on Twitch because I'm ready to be there to perform for people.
Oh yeah, you exaggerate for the camera.
Same boat as you.
And to bring up another point,
like,
if there's no one around, I'm by myself. I am just a quiet mute that just like whatever, like be it just engage in YouTube videos or like talk a bit on Discord. Or, like, talk to my friends. I'm just like completely quiet, like
mugging for the camera, exaggerating for the camera. That's very natural.
Yeah, like especially if you're like an introvert, kind of like me, like you kind of end up using all of your extrovertedness that you've saved up the entire day just for the stream. At least that's how I am. So that's like talking back to the like upping the amplitude basically. So you're forced to talk a whole lot more.
You're still you though. At the end of the day,
you're still
I don't
you
think
for
that
sure.
people aren't being genuine when they do. Like there are some people who aren't genuine and are completely different people. But I think that there's a difference in just like cranking it up a little bit for the entertainment aspect versus like, being a completely different person altogether.
Yeah. Like
it's another side of yourself. Yeah.
Right.
There's like a certain level of being like quote on.
None of you were like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like totally different.
Like with my IRL friends, whenever I see them or like my family, they know who I am. They've known who I am for like a decade plus. When I'm like,
I have to change
YouTube
myself
videos,
more when I'm around my family.
And then when I'm on stream, it's like, hey, I'm on. Like,
I have a really quick side note because like I think it's like a little bit. You mentioned being on. Did you guys have like stream rituals kind of that you would do before you started to stream to get yourself in that like headspace of like being ready to perform for people? Because like I did. I don't know if like you guys had that as well.
I always get a button down for stream because I feel more confident with it.
For some reason, I always have to pee like right before.
That's what I do.
I mean,
I have to pee like 30 times on stream. So if I pee at the beginning
I'm telling
of stream,
you, a real streamer invests in a catheter. I keep telling you.
Oh God.
People keep saying that I should use a bottle, but I'm like, even wide mouth Gatorade bottles aren't wide enough.
Mason jar.
Last time I used a mason jar, I got stuck.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
The poor jar.
But in terms of ritual though, I don't think I do myself. I think it's just setting up the stream, which is not like you actually have to put like a little bit of it's not just turn the computer on and start going. For me, it's like setting up the camera, the mic, the freaking light right here.
I don't necessarily mean that. I mean like, specific.
But yeah, like in terms of ritual to psych you out, not really. I just sort of start setting up and I just sort of go.
I don't have it for streaming, but for recording dialogue or script or whatever, like I'll practice what I want to say a couple times, read the script, type it down, and then like repeat to myself like, okay, how do I want to get this done? Because for the times I did public speaking in high school and college, I did that all the time before I went on to stage. And like, I'm only gonna have one chance to do this, so.
Speaking of public speaking, streaming has really helped my public speaking in general.
Oh yeah, I feel like that too.
It's made me think about how I structure my sentences and talk. So
I also realize with streaming, I laugh a lot. Like I'll be like, and then I catch myself a little like, did I have to laugh at that, or was I just trying to react for content?
You're reacting.
Yeah,
for
no,
content.
that's very true. I have something else to say about that, but I wanted to just go through my stream. Like, a lot of people think that like my waiting screen or my starting screen was just so like people could funnel in. dude, that was just for me. Like, I liked the music playing, and I'm like, all right, let's go. Got my drink. I cracked it open. I'm like, all right, get yourself ready, get yourself amped, because we're about to go for this stream.
And time to crack open a cold one with the boys.
But like you said, like amping it up and whatnot, or like reacting for the stream. Me and GK were actually talking about this, like, I think a couple months ago, or maybe it was a month ago. But you know, the difference in like how to react to like donations and subs once you reach like a certain threshold of like how common of an occurrence it is, and like if you are playing it off as that like more disingenuous, or like, you know, I'm not really sure how, like, say you normally got like, you know, 10, 15 subs, like, you know, frequent subs, and then like, are you really gonna like give such like a amped up reaction for like one sub, and then like, does that come off as like disingenuous?
I mean, oh, go ahead.
No. Sure. I was pretty much done. I was just trying to articulate it.
So, as someone who's been on the other end, where I've resubbed to like a bigger channel and they didn't notice at all, I'm just like, that's fine. Like, I'd rather them be funny and entertaining than them just like have their banter with their friends and then be like, "Oh, thank you for the sub, JonGon." You know, I don't need that validation. You know, you saw it. I'm supporting you. Do your thing. I'm here for the show. So, like I'm not at that point, or not even close to that point or anything. But I'm hoping that, you know, if any of us were to be at that point, you know, the viewer wouldn't take it personally. It's like, why didn't you say my name on stream?
I mean, you know how many people?
Notice me, senpai.
Do you know how many people just like donate like $5 just because they want to hear that streamer say their name?
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah, that is a big thing.
Right, it's you.
I do like.
We're saying it wrong.
I got into a weird predicament because like towards the end of my like Twitch run, I was receiving like quite a lot of like donations and subs and stuff, and it was harder to like, you know, I felt weird about like playing it up for like one subscription when, like, you know, there's people who are like donating like 20 or however many just like out the gate, and then I react to them, and then like I don't know, it was just a weird dichotomy that like I couldn't really seem to put my finger on what I should do, because like, you know, I'm appreciative either way. I'm appreciative. I just don't want to come off as fake is my big thing, you know.
Yeah, it's such a weird dichotomy when you think about it.
The one instance I had where I just kind of had to roll with it because I had no idea what the fuck to do was when someone had donated like 20 subs for the blonde hair goal, and like it wasn't like all at once. Like it did like one sub, then another one, then another one. So once I read the first one, I realized there's a pattern. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm just like, and another one from Zimmerman for this viewer, and another one for this one, and there's 10 more. Like, whoa, my god. And you know, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, then whatever.
Yeah, I had to
try something.
Right, like we try to show our appreciation the best way that we can without being fake, I would say.
Yeah, without being too over the top.
Yeah.
Like over exaggerating or forcing, you know, forcing the feelings on it.
Thanks for giving me money, idiot.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna start saying that.
You could have bought a McDonald's meal for this, and instead
exactly.
There was a funny gimmick. A bigger streamer I seen a while ago. His gimmick was if you subbed, he said he would say your names like, oh, JonGon, go fuck yourself. If that was his gimmick, he would just say go fuck yourself.
That's honestly great. That's honestly great.
I mean, okay, maybe I wouldn't do that for like a new sub.
I
need
to change my entire stream now.
Like my friends are for you guys are like, GK, you ass. But thanks.
But Lee, I wanted to hear like your. I'm not sure if you heard the entire thing, but I wanted to hear your opinion of that too.
As far as like playing things up for reactions, or
yeah, like so specifically in the donation space where it's like, you know, where like something might be more of a common occurrence now than it used to be, and you don't want to like play it up because then it's like you're fake, but like you don't want them to feel like it's unappreciated because it definitely is appreciated. And like, how do you balance that?
I mean, my honest answer is that like whenever it happens, I'm like always excited because it's like, you know, someone busted their ass off for this, and like, you know, one, I'm super fucking grateful, and two, I think like it's perfectly okay to like, you know, like play things up just so people feel that they're happy at the act of like giving that to you, because like it's crazy. People do bust their humps, and like the least most people can do is like just being like, yo dude, thanks for that, or things of that nature.
Yeah,
right.
Sometimes I kind of exaggerate that, specifically during Sellout Timber, where we're like a dinosaur or like shark mask, where it's like the hype dinosaur. I'm like, yo, let's fucking go, like that.
Yeah,
kind of
dude,
thing,
I used to like throw my chair and stuff and like get like super excited, and like it was harder to like pop off like that, because I feel like just the way that people perceive things after there was this one day in particular where I got like a lot of subscriptions. Like I don't know why there was like this donation war, and then like I didn't want people who like just I didn't want people to feel like just because they didn't donate like a lot that they were unappreciated, but like I didn't want to come off as fake either, and like it was hard to balance it. I felt like for me.
I feel that, yeah.
Yeah,
I do think that like even after like all these years of streaming, like even someone still donating like 100 bits or like anything, like that's still like that doesn't like go down from like a like a tolerance kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's still really fucking awesome.
It's like, holy shit, I
right.
got money.
Yeah, it's like I can't believe I'm interesting enough that someone would decide to do that. Like it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Agreed.
On the topic of donation wars, I actually just remembered this instance, or rather several instances now that I think about it, for, again, Stutter and Craig. And I think GK and Garnet know exactly what I'm talking about. Winterfell and Zimmerman just like fucking at a war with donations and gift subs. And I'm just like, God, these guys are really fucking going at it. How long is this going to go on for?
What was that guy, Adam from YouTube or something? What was the
Adam from YouTube.
Which is fun. No, that was his actual username on Twitch, Adam from YouTube.
Yeah, Adam from
so it's confusing.
Underscores and all.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, well, the thing is though, like, I would never have gotten into like any of that kind of like bidding war. The only time I ended up get into that bidding war was when I still have it in a frame, is Stuttering Craig and his wife's pretzel recipe and handwritten signed note from them.
Nice.
Yeah. See, with that said though, if
I got something out of it, I'm not gonna go like onto a streamer and like go into a bidding war, and if I'm not getting anything back from that personally.
See, and that's why I try to have like polls or predictions going on more, because it's like, well, if you can't interact with like a sub or whatever, at least you can interact with this, put in your 2 cents or whatever.
That's a good way to do it.
Like, or like who's gonna win, or predict, if I'm gonna get fucking destroyed in Mario Kart or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember when I would used to get like, decent amount, like, I get my Twitch payout, and then I would like make sure to go and like kind of like share the love around to like other creators that I really liked, just like making sure that like it spreads out as much as possible. And like, because I was appreciative of like their work too. Like I'm sitting in their chats like 3 hours a day, I wanted to make sure that that was a thing too.
I like that. I usually go down the route of investing into more things as far as like content to let people know that their money's going to a good place.
Yeah,
right.
I'm like, eventually I would like to upgrade the mic setup, but eventually or new desk.
Eventually, TM.
What I would personally like to do is, if I'm able
Garnet.
to get them. Garnet. Ooh, what is
Garnet
that?
with the sub.
Subscribe with a tier 1 to Mr. GK. All right, GK, now throw a fucking water bottle, whatever, to show you appreciation.
Yeah, get excited.
Come on,
Turn on the green screen.
GK.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Oh god, not the catheter bottle.
I'll take a swig of the water for you.
Hydrate.
Subhydrate.
No, I'm actually changing up my whole stream setting up. I ended up just getting 2 SM7B mics, and I'm redoing our whole area.
Yeah, I think for me, I'd have to, if I was going to do an upgrade, I'd get an XLR camera, because this is still a fucking USB, which this mic is fine, but obviously it's not perfect, and I can't control it through a mixer unless I get special equipment for that. But I would upgrade my mic, and then I would buy more mics so that when I have people over and I move my setup to the living room, which is a fucking hassle, but worth it, they all have their own mics, so there's no overly booming echo that you hear with all of us.
Yeah.
Oh man. One thing I've always kind of wanted to do, and this was before COVID, I sort of threw this idea out there with my IRL friends, was to like play a board game. But then I was thinking about the logistics of that. That would
Oh, you need
probably
so
really...
it's so hard. I've
It's
tried
so
it. You
much.
need a lot of cameras and a lot of mics.
Or we can do the
tabletop
super,
sim.
or we can do the super janky where I just stream to the phone on the Wi-Fi and we just pass the phone around. It'd be really bad.
That sounds
though.
like
I don't
motion
think
sickness.
that's
Oh,
not
God, yeah.
watchable. Yeah, but like
Yeah,
the amount of cameras, it's just not feasible. It's not.
I mean,
not
not only
we would
that,
do
but there's also-
a tabletop simulator instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's also the battery life of your phone, which is going to get drained like no one's business.
Yep.
And
Oh, hell
also,
yeah.
Wi-Fi is just unreliable in general. And also, your phone is being hogged of all the resources just to stream continuously.
And it
just
will be
Twitch
hard to
and
see the
mobile
chat or anything
Yeah.
on the phone.
That reminds me. I have another don't as a stream.
Yeah.
Don't overinvest in your equipment
Yes.
until
I
That's
agree
true.
with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
until you know you're going to be like using it constantly, or you have a use case for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Even
So
just
many
having it as
people-
like a proof of concept, where it's just
Yeah.
like, I know I can make this like, be self-sustaining and then do it based off that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I, am
like,
the, I am the biggest cheap ass you probably.
Yeah, my mic setup's like 300 tops, I think.
A lot of people
mine's
they
150, I think.
a lot of
nice.
people
Yeah, like
like invest in
170 maybe.
cameras and microphones and stuff, but like, dude, not a lot of people are doing what Doc does with his green screens. Like that would be. I feel like
He has a whole
insane.
visual effects team though that does all that for
Yeah,
him.
we can't
Yeah.
afford
All
that.
you really need is a backdrop, and you could make something out of it. Like Photoshop, you could really sell some high quality stuff just by like ripping a background off of Google and just doing a green screen. Like
Until
I
someone
feel like
copyrights
that's
that photo's like, that's my bitch, give me my royalties.
yeah.
Yeah, I've actually thought of that, like, because I have an animation that a friend of my brother thankfully did for a nice commission, and I've been tempted to use that as a background, but since it's animated, I'm like, no, I feel like that'd just be distracting. People would be looking at the square in the corner instead of the game on the main screen.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
guess
fine
it
just being a
depends.
floating head.
Yeah.
Layouts layouts are a good investment though.
Ooh,
One thing I
think.
haven't seen anyone do, I thought this, I don't know, this might be a really weird idea, but what if you get a green screen background placement and then you wear a green shirt so you're literally a floating head? Has anyone
I've
done that?
on
Be like the
accident before.
Futurama heads in the jars.
I've worn a blue shirt on stream by accident. In fact, I think it was last week with my friends when we were trying to smash an Arceus out. Like I had my blue shirt on, I'm like, well, I guess I'm a floating head today. Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, it's floating JonGon today.
Oh boy. You can like animate a skit where you play that Mario Party game Look Away and you do the look away
Oh, we should
thing.
do that IRL. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, but people be like assholes and do diagonals. Like, oh, am I looking up or down? Or up or right? I don't know. This fucking camera's mirrored. I don't know why LBS or this app isn't letting me.
They always do it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Anyway,
as well.
I don't know. We've been going like 3 hours. I'm actually glad we were able to get like a good amount to talk about. But I don't know. Does anyone have like anything else with the do's and don'ts to talk about before we can like talk about wrapping up?
I'd say with do just be yourself on stream. Don't be. I mean, obviously you're amplifying yourself.
Well, exaggerate yourself is fine.
Like, don't try to just appease to like a niche set of viewers just because you want that viewership. The people who come for you are going to come for you and they're going to stay around. Like a bunch of YouTubers throughout the years, the ones that have stayed around the longest have just been the ones that have been themselves, and people stayed for the longest because they're like, this is a genuinely entertaining or a good person, and I want to stick with them. So, just be you and let the people come in for that.
Yep.
And
I-
don't.
I have a good do. Do team up against GK on Mario Party.
Yes.
What? No, you sons of bitches, all of you. You need to. That's the only way you can even think about winning.
Oh, well, kind of on that note then, don't be mad if people go for you on stream. Like, you're putting yourself out there. You're basically highlighting yourself.
Yeah.
If you're a Smash game or a Mario Kart game,
No, I want you to leave me alone, damn it.
I would say do know what you want out of streaming. Like I think that's a huge one. Is just knowing what your goals are, and I guess a don't would be don't let the numbers get to you. Don't let just
try to avoid looking at your
people
viewer
irk you.
count.
Yeah,
It can make you depressed.
Yeah.
And do use Fiverr. Fiverr is the saving fucking grace.
Yes, it is a godsend. or talk to your, even if you think no one's watching, and don't like
Always
look at the
talk.
numbers and talk as if people are watching. You know,
Yeah,
just to
talk as if
keep
you're
yourself in
doing a
that
lecture.
mindset.
Oh, 100%.
Like, talk
dude,
as if... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot of like these streams that have like 0, 1, 2 viewers, something like that, but they're not talking because chat's not saying anything,
Yeah.
and you don't know who's coming through your stream, and just like you got to prompt them to say something. So just always be expressing yourself and
But I guess to follow up on that, like, pretend you're playing a game at like a hotel or convention, and people are just kind of walking by. You know, someone might be interested in seeing what you're doing or saying, and then that's how you get people to stick around.
Yeah, you get window shoppers basically. So
Yeah.
you need to be prepared for them.
Yep.
Isn't that technically what lurkers are in a way? Window shoppers?
Yeah.
I think it's more like,
Based.
there's people in a bookstore. You are the bookstore owner,
That's
and they're just
fair,
kind of
that's
off
fair.
in the corner reading their book and just kind of chiming in.
Yeah, they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, any other final thoughts from anyone?
Thanks for being a good sport, JonGon, for me having a few little digs at you. So.
Oh, dude, it's no big deal. Like, as the youngest in my family, I kind of grew up on roasts anyway, so I'm like, whatever, it's fine.
When are we gonna do the roast of GK?
The roast of GK.
I don't know, GK. When do you want to set up that date?
What?
episode 10 of the podcast, the roast of GK.
Why not? Why not a toast?
Toasts aren't as fun.
Yeah.
I've got a don't that I'm curious what the reception would be. Don't do it for the money or the fame.
Agreed.
What do
like
you
said earlier,
mean?
it's fine to monetize your content.
I'm
Don't
telling this
make
to the
it
Twitch
solely-
subreddit because everyone thinks that.
Yeah, like, it's fine to monetize it. Just don't make it solely about that. Like, for me, it's
You're not
I'm
paying the
playing games
bills.
now. That's
Yeah,
what
you're
I'm
not
I think
saying.
paying
it'll
the bills with
definitely
being
put
a
you in a
small
bad
streamer.
headspace.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
it definitely has an ability, like, especially if you're relying on it too much, it puts you in a horrible headspace. And like if there is a moment where you're just not you feel stagnant and not moving forward, like and like you seem like less appreciative, which is not great. And just there is a lot of bad things that come with trying to treat it like a business, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have fun with it. Don't expect anything. If you go in with low expectations, you'll always be happier.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, yeah. Well, and probably getting pretty close to wrapping. So this was a very, very fun conversation.
Yes, it was.
And this could also work into, like, if we ever get around to like interviewing any random person who's a streamer, we can ask them like these basic questions in their like streaming outlook, because people have like a different outlook to these sort of things.
Yeah.
But yeah. Again, any last second thoughts on anything as I look for someone to raid?
This was fun.
Yeah, this is cool. Thanks for having us,
Yeah.
GK.
Yeah, thanks for having me, GK. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me as well.
No problem. All right. I think I will raid. Someone's playing a Smash tournament. Someone who they don't have their cam on, but.
Oh yeah. Also,
Oh,
John
and it was nice
Garnet
meeting you,
boys
Byron,
for
and
life.
Just Lee.
Screen Bros for
Belmont,
life.
Frag.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys too.
Nice to meet you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
See y'all around at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not you,
Yeah.
Garnet. I'm never gonna fucking see you again.
I know, right?
Yeah, and just a quick apology to anyone who may have wanted to call in. We were a lot more busy than I thought. Which
Actually,
was a
I could
pleasant
vacate
surprise.
I could vacate for a little bit if a DJ or God, did I pronounce that name right? I think I fucked it up. If he wants to hop in and give some last words, I can hop out for a sec.
I don't know if anyone is still here. I mean, if anyone wants to like just hop in, because this program I'm using has a 6-person limit. I can only get 6 people
and I
in
don't
at a
mind
time.
hopping out. I've got to go as well. But it was a good time.
All right, cool.
GK.
Yep.
Thanks again.
No problem. All right, catch you later, Garnet.
Catch you later.
Peace.
And JonGon later.
Ba-da-dum.
All
So
right.
you're
Well,
paying us
yeah.
when you upload this to YouTube, right?
I'll ping
'Cause
everyone.
I do want to see
everyone.
it.
All right. Yeah. Quick. Like very last second. If anyone wants in to give like their thoughts on things, otherwise I will set up a raid. It's probably like the longest podcast I've done, but that was a good one. All right.
I definitely feel the structure helped a lot, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I did like the kids shows one, like just stream of consciousness, but this was like more structured and all that. And now I'll have to like think, how can I top this? what the hell could I talk about?
How can you top this? Mario Party boards tier list. That's how you fucking top
yeah, I still have to do the other mini games.
That's how you top it.
If I want to show the content, I've like written 2/3 of the script for the mini game review for Mario Party 3, and I haven't like yet to finish it out because I've been so fucking lazy. The boards one would be like a big undertaking.
It would.
All the boards, and then eventually make a video on that as well. But I would like to at some point. Anyway,
this was like a really good topic though. I feel like streamers can just talk forever about streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we can all complain about audio, of course.
It's definitely cool 100%. To get insight from everyone too. Like, there's some things I hadn't even considered that were really cool to learn about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Spaceland Instant S tier, no ifs, answer buts from JonGon.
Okay.
It's a good board.
Like Mario Party 2 has like a really good boards, but yeah. Anyway, we might get onto that some other time. Let's see here.
Right. I'm gonna hop out, but thank you for having me. It was a pleasure talking with all you guys.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. Care. Catch you later. All right, I'm gonna raid Fortune. So if when we do get to him, tell him he got raided. You know, the usual. He's playing some Smash. He's doing a tournament, so he's not doing open arenas, but you can cheer him on. Do tell him he got raided. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. If anyone has any topic ideas from 2 weeks from now, put them in my Discord if there's anything you would like for us to talk about. And also be on the lookout for some more Mario Party. I want to try to finish up Inscription. That game has been really good. So, and any other games in general that you think would be fun to watch. I wanted to play some Ready or Not, but I'm putting a pin on that for now. Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. I'll catch you all later.
Later.